Last week, the Lions were rooting for the Riders to snap out of their slump. BC got its wish, but now it may work against them. The Riders are now in playoff mode, and BC has the unenviable task of stopping a team on a mission.
Durant looking downfield for 2. Touchdown!
Lions, Riders, next. And welcome back inside the CFL on TSN Studios. Dave Randolph and Jock Climbing, Matt Dunnigan and Chris Schultz on semifinal Sunday. One team is through, and that is the Toronto Argonauts after their 16-13 win on the road against their provincial rivals, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. In case you missed it, a great game of twists and turns and momentum shifts, and we are expecting another good game out west. A rematch of a West semifinal from 2008, a game that the BC Lions went into Regina and won on their way to the West final. The Lions, without question, the hottest team in the league going into the postseason. They arrived late in the dance, but they've won 7 of their last 10. And you know what? As Travis Lulay said yesterday, just another part of the story. A travel fiasco yesterday that saw their plane going to Regina pull up at the last second due to ice on the runway. They had to go back to Calgary. They took pictures with a wedding going on there at the Calgary airport. Then they go back. They arrived hours late. And right in the middle of that whole travel fiasco was Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter, who are standing by right now live at Mosaic. Hi, guys.
Well, Dave, you could say the BC Lions had trouble getting to the Western semifinal in more ways than one. Didn't look like they'd get here at all when they were 1-7. They met Saskatchewan 3 times, lost 2 of them. 3 different quarterbacks started. The guy who won, Travis Lulay.
Yeah, well, Travis Lulay at the first half of the season got a chance, but so did Casey Printers and Jarius Jackson. All 3 struggled in that first half. When they gave Travis Lulay the reins of this offense 6 games ago, a very different story. He started to evolve with an offense that was getting better. In his last 3 games, he has completed 65% or better of his passes. Look at his touchdown to interception ratio, outstanding. He is also running the ball well. He is evolving. Now the question is, can he handle playoff pressure? This will be his first start in the playoffs.
And Wally Buono feels that he's made the most of his second chance as a starter.
Biggest difference for me is, he doesn't seem to be trying to force things when they're not there. And, sometimes you have to go through the school of hard knocks, and he learned the hard way. But, this time around, he's handled things well. When things haven't been there, he's either taken a sack, he's run, or he's thrown the ball away. And, all 3 of those are a lot better options than turnovers.
He's a very confident quarterback. We know that, but playoff pressure is very different. How will he handle it? That's the question mark hanging over Travis Lulay. The one thing that BC Lion fans do know is that their last 3 games of the regular season were basically playoff games anyway, so he's got that experience to lean on.
Darian Durant took his team to the Grey Cup championship in his first year as a starter, and now Travis Lulay will try to do the same. Dave?
Hi, guys. Thanks. We'll hear from the boys momentarily. Kickoff's about 3, 4, 5 minutes away. The playoffs was almost a pipe dream for the BC Lions after their 1-7 start, and now they're the team that nobody wants to face, Jock.
Yeah, I just find it incredible that going into this playoffs this year, guys, they're the only football team that's going to be feeling good about themselves. I mean, just go down the list. You look at Calgary, they got beaten by BC twice and Montreal in the last 6 weeks, and Toronto 4-6 since Labor Day. They're not very happy with themselves. How about Montreal getting hammered by Toronto and Hamilton the last 2 of the last 3 weeks? Saskatchewan 1-4. I mean, all these teams will have doubts. What are the BC Lions worried about right now? These guys are playing great football, 7-3. They remind me a little of the BC Lions that beat us when I was with the Alouettes in 2000. They went 3-1 down the stretch, and just like this football team, they started the season very poorly, are now playing their best football, and that's what you want to be doing going into the playoffs. I mean, at the end of the day, momentum is key, and they've got it. It's all on their sides, except they're on the road at Mosaic. That's the tough part.
Well, yeah, it is. And you ask what do they need to be worried about? They need to be worried about Darian Durant and his legs and ability to move the football with his creativity. And Darian Durant is so strong from the lower half down, and he's incredible to watch. And as he just throws people aside to make plays happen. And I can tell you, they need to be focused on this because this kid extends plays just like this, and magic happens, and everybody feeds off of it. This is an extension of the plays. Never should have happened. This is Darian Durant at his finest. But on the other side, Saskatchewan better be worried about BC's quarterback, the young Travis Lulay. They talked about how hot he is. Well, he can make it happen with his legs, too. He's got a burning desire to move this football team deeper into the playoffs as he does there to get the ball in the end zone. Travis Lulay, Darian Durant, making it happen with their legs. Both defenses got to corral these quarterbacks, Schultze, and take that out of their game.
You know, guys, in the game we saw an inexperienced quarterback in Cleo Lemon beat the experienced quarterback in Kevin Glenn. Have a similar scenario tonight in the inexperienced growing quarterback in Travis Lulay competing against Darian Durant. But for the Riders to win this game, first and foremost, you've got to win the line of scrimmage on defense. One negative consistency is the last one-third of this football season. Running backs have had success running the football. Now, if you give an offense two dimensions, you give them that interior run, perimeter run, as well as a passing attack, it is almost impossible for you to win. So for the Riders to win at home with all that energy and all that fan support, they've got to play a physical game, just like the Toronto Argonauts did.
One of the most physical players in the league this year was linebacker Barron Simpson, the veteran, maybe having one of his best seasons, but the Riders are without his services, much like the Argos withstood the loss of Willie Middlebrooks. They're going to have to withstand the loss of Barron Simpson in the middle of their linebacking core. Unsung heroes, I asked you about this prior to the Eastern game. Who's a player to watch that's not on the marquee in this game?
Well, I think Chad Cornegay is critical as the outside linebacker for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. BC Lions love to use Robertson in the flats. So it's up to Cornegay and his linebacking crew to contain that.
Yeah, I'm going to say Rolly Lambada for the BC Lions. You know, running back out of the backfield, they use their running backs really well. Schultze, I'm going Rolly.
I think anybody that tackles as well as they possibly can against the running game, any defender.
Well, if this second game is half as entertaining as the first, then we are in for a great 3 hours. Sit back and relax. Here are your starting quarterbacks, brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL. Travis Lulay, 9 career starts under his belt, none of them in the playoffs. It'll be a different environment, one that Darian Durant is quite used to.
The Samsung CFL on TSN pregame show is presented by Samsung. For big screen TVs, nobody beats the brick.
Brian Williams of Cranbrook, BC. You could win a 2010 Nissan Rogue if a kickoff is returned for a touchdown in today's game, thanks to Safeway's Touchdown to Win promotion. And if a second kickoff is returned, you could win $1 million. Off we go, Western semifinal in Regina. To call the game, here again, Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter.
Thank you, David. The ice fog has lifted in Regina, and we're almost set to raise the curtain on the 2010 Western semifinal as the resurgent BC Lions clash with last year's Western champion Saskatchewan Roughriders. And the Saskatchewan capital all frosted up. It's -2 on an overcast afternoon, but all in all, conditions pretty fair for mid-November football at Mosaic.
Yeah, good afternoon. Darian Durant, the starting quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, led the CFL in passing yards, over 5,000, and is 1-0 in the playoffs at the Western Final a year ago. On the other sideline, Travis Lulay, just 9 starts in the Canadian Football League. He is 4-5. This will be his first playoff start for the BC Lions.
Not the first for Wally Buono. He's 20-15 in the playoffs. But the postseason this year seemed unlikely even a month ago, but they now are the hottest team in the Canadian Football League, winning 7 of their last 10. Ken Miller's Riders won 10 games for the second straight year, 2 of 3 against BC, but he needed all hands on deck last week to avoid a 5-game losing streak heading in to the postseason. Fourth straight year that Mosaic has enjoyed a home playoff date. And the fans are revved here in Saskatchewan. Congratulations to the Toronto Argonauts. And now let's find out who wins this Western semifinal. The Calgary Stampeders await next Sunday at McMahon. Here we go. Short kick. It'll be Neil Hughes up across the 45. And Darian Durant will have good field position for Saskatchewan's first possession around the 50-yard line.
Real good field position for Saskatchewan to start this important football game. Let's take a look at their starting offense. There is Darian Durant, not only the leader in passing yardage this season, but also rushing as a quarterback, the leading receiver in Canadian football. Andy Fantus, his #1 receiver. Right tackle Dan Goodspeed talked to the team, addressed the team this week heading into this important playoff game.
Roughriders start at their 51, send 6 receivers out. Durant's first throw is high, and Jason Claremont is punished by the corner, David Hyland.
Take a look at that defense for the BC Lions. They have their starting front 4 back and intact. Brent Johnson, the veteran of 10 years, will start at rush end. The rookie nominee from the West is Solomon Elamimian, who will start in the middle, and Ryan Phillips, who has a knack for getting interceptions, not only against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in his career, but also Darian Durant over the last 2 years.
Starting lineup brought to you by Rona, proud sponsor of the CFL. Rona, doing it right. 2nd and 10. Here comes the rush, and Karan Williams will toss Durant down back at the 40-yard line. Saskatchewan had only 1 2-and-out last week. They go 2-and-out on their opening possession in the Western Semi.
Stunt up front from the BC Lions defense early. They're going to bring 2 defensive linemen down, and then Karan Williams around on the stunt. And it surprises that Saskatchewan offensive line. He comes from a long way away to get there. And a good start for the BC defense after poor field position.
So Eddie Johnson a kick, and the dangerous Giannis Davis is back. Good high boot. A lot of hang time, and Davis in trouble as Shamari Williams gets down in a hurry. Great kick, a 52-yard blast by Eddie Johnson. And Travis Lulay gets set for his first playoff series in the Canadian Football League.
Since taking the reins, he is 4-2, and those 2 losses went to overtime for Travis Lulay, the starter in that offense. He has been using Jamal Robertson, not just running and handing the football out to him, but in the short passing game. Emmanuel Arsenal, 11 catches in their last 3 wins, and they'll move Jesse Newman into the right guard position for Shirko Haji-Razulu.
First play for Lulay, and he's got G. Simon and a first down close to the 30-yard line.
Defensively for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, ranked last against the run, but 3rd against the pass, and they get Brent Hawkins back at rush end. Hawkins has missed a bunch of games due to shoulder injury. They don't have their leading tackler in Barron Simpson in the middle. That will be Mike McCullough, and LaRon Mitchell will be tested out at that corner.
Lulay beat the Riders, but it was in BC. He's never been in this environment. Didn't seem to bother him on the 12-yarder to Simon. And now out of the backfield, Jamal Robertson with the catch just across the 35. And this is a play we've seen a lot of in recent weeks.
Well, they're using it almost as an extension to the running game to get Jamal Robertson out, and it will challenge the new middle linebacker, Mike McCullough. Now, he has had starts in the middle of that defense, but no Barron Simpson for Saskatchewan. They tested his ankle yesterday, couldn't do it. So he is not dressed for this game this afternoon.
12th playoff game for the veteran Mike McCullough. 5 for Robertson, 2nd and 5. James Patrick on the blitz. Lulay has to throw it away, incomplete. The all-star safety, James Patrick, turns up the heat.
Well, good decision by Travis Lulay to not try and force this. And Wally Buono had said this week that that's why he has started to evolve. The blitz is going to come from the safety, James Patrick, who you don't see until the end. Here he comes right through the middle now. He comes from the outside left of that screen. But Lulay to throw it away and not take either the loss or force an interception is a good decision early.
Paul McCallum, the boot, and the former Lion, Ryan Grace Mullen, is taken down just short of the 35-yard line. No score, first quarter. The CFL on TSN is brought to you in part by Rona, proud sponsor of the Canadian Football League. Rona, doing it right. First down for the Roughriders up at the 34-yard line. Wes Cates first carry. Big pull, left side, and into the secondary all the way to midfield.
The backside of the play defensively for Brent Johnson was the guy who was supposed to seal the backside, and he got cut off by one of the offensive linemen as Wes Cates going to take that ball from the right of the formation and then cut back. And you see number 97 get cut off. He wasn't allowed to pursue underneath. Big play on the running game for Wes Cates.
Cates, a Western All-Star, 5th in the league in rushing. And a first down at midfield. Back in the hands of Cates. And about 4 that time is Solomon Elamimian, the top rookie on the BC Lions. The middle linebacker makes the stop.
Yeah, that was a big stop. That was a hit, too. That was Solomon Elamimian he's a striker. He's not a tackler, he's a striker. He comes in and steps into this hit big time. This is playoff intensity at its best, and that's a big time hit. Both players solid on the ground.
Started the last 11 games in the middle. 2nd and 6. Fake to Cates, and Durant loads it up. Weston Dressler all by himself, and Durant misses him. Dressler with a few strides behind Ryan Phillips, and Durant can't make the connection.
Well, a chance for a big play here as Weston Dressler knows with the roll away, he's got time to set up his man in Ryan Phillips and get back to that corner, because Durant's going to roll away from the play and play action. So he sets him up with a real nice route to get back to the corner, and Darian Durant just does not put enough air under the ball to allow his receiver, who he didn't have last year in the playoffs or Grey Cup, to run underneath it.
Missed opportunity. And Eddie Johnson comes on. Davis is back deep. Johnson looking for the pin. High kick. And this one will sail out of bounds. Let's find out if it was beyond the 20 or not. And they're going to mark it inside the 20 at the 15-yard line. 35-yard boot. On the sidelines here at Mosaic is Farhan Walsey.
Chris, it was quite the trip for the BC Lions yesterday. They were almost able to land on time in Regina, but then the pilot felt it was unsafe, turned them around, and went to Calgary, where they sat for 4 hours. The players made the most of it. Angus Reid did what you'd expect an offensive lineman to do. He ordered food right away. Defensive coordinator Mike Benavides knew the bride from a wedding that was going on there, so the team posed for pictures. And fortunately, the team did make the extra stop because it allowed Chris Cuthbert and the rest of our TSN crew to get on the flight and make it to Regina last night.
Yes, we had to bypass Regina yesterday, ended up in Calgary. Our thanks to Dennis Skulski and the BC Lions for helping us get here. Travis Lulay back to work. And there's another completion. Mandy Arsenault had a huge game last week. 8 catches, 164 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. Has his first of this playoff.
1,000-yard season for Emmanuel Arsenault, and has become a favorite target for Travis Lulay as he evolves with this offense. Last 3 games, 11 catches for Arsenault, just shy of 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has been a favorite for Lulay.
And now run straight ahead for Robertson. Up to the 35. Jamal Robertson was 7, and Mike McCullough and Omar Morgan converge on the tackle.
Lions have won their last 3 games in playoffs type form. They've had to win. McCullough's going to be in the middle of that defense that has been susceptible against the run. Now the question, I know for a lot of Lions fans, will be, will they stick with Jamal Robertson, the BC Lions, and go ahead and test that run defense here this afternoon?
Lions are rated number 7 in the rushing department, 2nd and 3, and Robertson is stacked up, pushed back. Keith Shulligan, defensive tackle, in on the stop. They'll be short.
See how short they are. That was a good play by McCullough to step in there. 3rd and 3, Jacques Chapdelaine goes back to the run to test that run defense in a crucial down and 2nd down. And they're going to have to punt the football. They're short enough. Basically 2 full yards.
Well, Mike McCullough has been pressed into service as a starter in the past, and the Roughriders defense hasn't missed a beat. You know, they'd love to have Barron Simpson today. but he'll be helping coach on the sidelines as McCallum boots it away. Grace Mullen at his 35. Dan McCullough will pull him down as he crosses the 40, a 39-yard boot. The CFL on TSN is brought to you in part by Nissan. Shift the way you move. So a scoreless first quarter here in Regina. Roughriders with their third possession of the game. Have had decent field position, but nothing to show for it so far. 6 receivers out, quick hitter Dressler. And Dressler breaks one tackle and another, and still going. How about this? Finally dropped inside the 35. Those are yards after the catch.
We've been keeping the stat all season. The longest yards after the catch for Weston Dressler, who's going to catch this simple hitch pass. Missed tackle there by David Highland. He breaks that one, comes out on Tad Crawford, pushes to the outside, breaks the second tackle. Now he's going down the field with Franks ripping at him. Breaks that from him and Corey Banks. That's tremendous effort from Weston Dressler.
34 yards for Dressler. And a first down for the Roughriders. Gates. And he's brought down by Anton McKenzie, the former Rough Rider.
Weston Dressler ranked 4th in the Canadian Football League, that yards after catch category. The leader was the Calgary Stampeders' Nick Lewis this year. 52.6% of his yardage after he caught the football, but a big play that really should get the momentum on the side of the green and white here.
Second and 5. And Durant couldn't find anybody and is tripped up. He's dropped by Jonathan Brown, who really helped turn around the Lions season. The Argos winning earlier, his former team, and now he makes a big defensive play.
Well, he's in field goal range, so he had coverage downfield. The secondary for the BC Lions did a nice job of shutting down his targets. And so Darian Durant will put Warren Keane on the field.
And the Lions already with 2 sacks in the game. This field goal comes from exactly the 40, and Ken Miller planned to use Keane inside the 40. Eddie Johnson outside the 40. Johnson holds. Keane attempts it, and he pushes it right. It's a miss. And Giannis Davis is going to concede a single point. So the Rough Riders strike first, but not the way they wanted to. The Western semifinal brought to you by Wendy's Baconator, the official hamburger of the Canadian Football League. And by Rona, proud sponsor of the CFL. Rona, doing it right.
Well, decisions for the starting quarterback always so important, and everything magnified in the playoff game because every mistake costs you that much more in momentum. Travis Louis, so far so good for BC Lions fans. He has made some good ones this season. He can run the football well also. In his last 6 games, he's averaged 6 for 43 yards running the ball. Haven't seen it yet, but if things start to break down, he and Darian Durant certainly have the ability to take off and run with the football.
We found out how important a missed field goal would be early in the game in the Eastern semi, and here Lule was not ready for the snap. Flags fly. Lions look like they get back on it.
Well, he's in his first playoff start, and he's going to have to try and deal with the crowd here at Mosaic Stadium. He is
procedure. BC number 53. A 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the right guard, Jesse Newman.
Jesse Newman moved, and Angus Reid, and the communication between he and Travis Lulay not there. You can see Newman tap Angus Reid on the side of the leg to say, go ahead and snap the ball. Obviously, Lulay wasn't ready. They're trying to handle this crowd noise.
First time we've seen the impact of the Mosaic fans so far today. 1st and 15. Here comes pressure. Lulay got it away. Incomplete. Short hop. The intended target, G. Roy Simon.
More pressure from James Patrick once again, forcing Lulay to throw off his back foot, but he can't go ahead and throw it down the middle because the linebacker, Tad Cornegay, has rolled into the middle, so Lulay doesn't see a free safety blitz that has the middle wide open. He sees a rotation defense with the safety and Patrick coming down low, going after him, and Cornegay dropping to the middle.
Here comes more pressure, but the play doesn't get off. And is that a time count violation?
Time count violation. BC number 14. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Chris, this is why you battle for home field in the playoffs. This is what the regular season fight is all about, to get home field and to get that crowd on your side.
Remember, a lot of years ago, it used to be the battle to avoid playing a playoff game at BC Place Stadium. It used to be the loudest, but doesn't get more unfriendly than this. 2nd and 20, Lance Fraser's coming. And Fraser gets to the quarterback, ball loose. Who's got it? Roughriders do. Kip Lana Jones up with the football.
Saskatchewan puts James Patrick up on the line again, but they don't send him this time. They disguise that they're going to bring safety once more, and they come with a halfback and Lance Fraser around the corner. Now the question being, was Travis Lulay's arm going forward? A pump fake there, that doesn't count. His arm's backwards, the ball is out before the forward motion, so that is a strip and a fumble by Lance Fraser.
So a big turnover gives Saskatchewan the football at the Lion 20-yard line. Durant, Karan Williams, and Durant is taken down, and the Lions get to the Rough Rider quarterback for the 3rd time, Solomon Elamimian.
Karan Williams so far has been almost impossible to block for this Saskatchewan offensive line. Number 9 is creating havoc in the backfield in his one-on-ones. This time it's Dan Goodspeed, the right tackle, that has problems with him. And he flushes Darian Durant into the arms of Solomon Elamimian.
So it's 2nd and 12. Keats releases. Durant rolls the other way. And now just throws it away. As the Lions have done a nice job in coverage and turning up the heat on Darian Durant.
Let's go back to the fumble that'll set up this field goal attempt. James Patrick is right here. He's not going to come. He's going to disguise. And off the edge will be Lance Fraser. So they're going to show the safety up there and then blitz the halfback, number 15. Lulay doesn't account for him, has a chance for a big play down the field, but can't get it out of there. And this will set up the 2nd field goal try for the Riders.
And again, Warren Keene comes on now, 3 for 6 since he joined the Rough Riders. Luka Kanji injured late in the season and out for the rest of the year. And Keene puts that through. And the Rough Riders lead by 4.
Ken Miller obviously a little concerned with his special teams. Warren Keene now just 1 for 2 here in this game. And as I mentioned, everything so much more important. If they have to, they could go to Eddie Johnson, who right now will be kicking field goals if they're outside of 40. They'll go to Eddie Johnson for the field goal inside to Warren Keane. But if Keane doesn't show confidence, and he should get some from making that one, they may go to Eddie Johnson earlier. And in fact, Ken Miller told me yesterday they may even decide to go on third down if they lose confidence in their kicking game.
Start at their 35, and Robertson off the right side. Maybe a couple. There's Mike McCullough with another tackle.
He played 3.5 quarters last week when Barron Simpson hurt his ankle against the Edmonton Eskimos in a big win for them to really snap that 4-game losing streak and get that swagger back. And he makes a nice play here to slide and scrape into the hole. Mike McCullough on first down. Good run stop.
Corey Hucklack checks in as the Roughriders go to their pass situation defense on 2nd and 8. And Lule over the middle. Paris Jackson the catch. And a first down across the 45. Lance Fraser with the tackle.
Well, this will be the soft spot if the Saskatchewan Roughriders continue to put everybody on the line of scrimmage, even if they drop a couple out of there, which they're going to. The soft spot in this defense for that quick passing game will be right over the middle. You can see no one really involved until you get to James Patrick 25 yards deep there. So the BC Lions exploit that soft spot.
Lule with a pump and looks for Jackson again and overthrows the target. Chris McKenzie in coverage for the Roughriders.
Once again, the Riders showing different looks. They got McCullough up on the line. That's Jarrell Freeman. That's Tad Cornegay. They're 3 linebackers looking like they may blitz. Now watch as you run the play. They're going to all show like they're going to come, and then they drop underneath. And this time they put McCullough in that middle to take away the hot route right over the middle, forcing Travis Lule to look to that sideline. He can't hook up over there by the Rider bench.
Now Chris McKenzie on the blitz. Lule over the middle, and he's got Stephen Black. Another first down. Lions moving the football here into Rough Rider territory.
Stephen Black has come on. I mean, he's the third receiver inside here. And again, where is he going to attack when he sees the Riders on the line of scrimmage? He's got to attack the middle. One of these receivers will have to go into that middle every time if the Riders continue to put everybody on the line of scrimmage.
Lule's already hooked up with 5 different receivers in this opening quarter. To the Rider 42. Fakes the swing pass, looks a little deeper, and out of the reach of Emmanuel Arsenault.
You know, Arsenault is well covered down there. James Patrick had come over, and he had some help from LaRon Mitchell to really end up double teaming Emmanuel Arsenault as they worked that way. And I think Travis Lule saw the help from the safety. There's Arsenault there. Now Patrick will work his way over. He saw the help from the safety, tried to throw it underneath him. If Arsenault makes the adjustment, great. If not, it goes incomplete.
6th play of the drive. If they don't move it, it'll be a 49-yard field goal attempt. And Lule looks to the far side and has O'Neal Wilson for a catch. Short of the first down, but that gets it a little closer for Paul McCallum.
Quick decision by Travis Lule, and you're going to see a lot more of these hot routes from the BC offense with that lineup defensively for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Again, not disguising anything. They're putting everybody up there. Now McCullough does drop out, but the read is to get the ball out there quickly to O'Neal Wilson. Now he will be short, but as you mentioned, Chris, gives McCullough a better shot. McCullough.
Well, the former Saskatchewan Roughrider will size this up from 44 yards out. The Lions don't have the right personnel on the field. And they're going to have to take a timeout.
Yeah.
Don't think they're going to get it in. And there's the timeout call.
Jarius Jackson did it too. He was looking at at that 20-second clock and basically going, they're not taking a time count here.
There's no infraction on the play. Timeout, BC.
Jerome Messam, the rookie, came on late.
And to Jarius Jackson as well. It looked like both maybe thought that Wally Guano was electing to punt in this situation.
It was 3rd and 4. Wind shouldn't be a factor here. And Paul McCallum's had an exceptional season. 88.5% good on his field goals. The outstanding player for the BC Lions. Just the 5th time that a place kicker has got the nod in CFL history from his team. Jackson puts it down, and Paul McCallum has put another one through. BC's on the board with 10 seconds left in the opening quarter.
88.5% this year. He has been money, as you mentioned, 46 of 52, and is moving up the ladder all time. That's the all-time field goal percentage leaders in CFL history. Sandro DeAngelis, whose numbers have dropped a little bit this year, in a tough year in Hamilton. Damon Duvall and McCallum, all 3 kickers currently playing in the CFL, obviously. And Paul McCallum with an outstanding season.
So the Roughriders elect to scrimmage the football at their 35 on what should be the final play of this opening quarter. And they go double tight ends, the Roughriders, with Chris Zarka and Neil Hughes. And Durant looks downfield. He wants Kerry Koch, and Tad Crawford breaks that up. The young safety with a good defensive play on the final play of the opening quarter. First quarter stats are brought to you by Tim Hortons, proud sponsor of the CFL.
Defense is playing well in that first quarter. The Saskatchewan Roughriders sending a lot of blitz at Travis Lule, and Karan Williams playing well for that defensive line for the BC Lions. Chris, when I look at these 2 quarterbacks, looks like to me Darian Durant's got that adrenaline pumping, and he's missed a couple of opportunities. I think about that deep play to Weston Dressler.
And they get the ball with the great field position after the fumble, and Darian Durant with just 1 completion so far. Lule, in his first start in the playoffs, has hit 6 different receivers, but he's fighting this crowd too.
He is, and he's looked calm enough. But Travis Lule and that offense are going to have success on first down as this game goes on with the style of defense they're facing from Saskatchewan.
Defensive battle earlier today, won by the Argos, and defense sets an early tone here. Second down, and another pass overthrown, trying to get it in the hands of former BC Lion Jason Claremont.
And Darian Durant just has to calm down a little bit. I mean, he's a guy who's got that experience from last year's playoff run into the Grey Cup championship. I know the Riders fell short, but the bottom line being he looks like the adrenaline's pumping and he's just putting too much on the football. That's the 3rd overthrow for him that I've counted in just over a quarter of play. He just needs to calm down just a little bit and settle in.
So another 2 and out, and Eddie Johnson. Another big boot. Giannis Davis at his 26. And he'll step out around the 35-yard line. And there's Ryan Phillips. And did Darian Durant get off his routine because of his arch nemesis, Ryan Phillips?
Ryan Phillips, 13 interceptions in 17 games versus Saskatchewan, 8 versus Darian Durant in the last couple of years. And pregame, the routine is Ryan Phillips tries to talk to Durant in warm-up. He was trying to find him, and both the BC coaching staff and the Saskatchewan coaching staff were trying to just get him focused on the game. Now, at the meantime, Darian Durant did not come out early to warm up and change his routine to avoid Ryan Phillips.
Travis Lulay to work. And a handoff to Robertson straight ahead. Not much there.
So you just wonder if one or both are a little bit off their game. And certainly it looks like Darian Durant with a couple of high throws is not settled in. And I'm not suggesting that stuff really affects your game. But it has been a bit of a mind game all week long between the two. And look at Darian Durant's start.
Second and 7. Time to throw, but it's batted down. Knocked down by Byron Bullock.
A couple plays for him in that last game of the regular season. And what's remarkable about this play for the rookie and Byron Bullock is that he is being blocked on this by Jamal Robertson. And while he's being blocked, he's going to get up there and knock it down.
Bullock drawing in with injuries to linebackers Daniel Francis and Sean Lucas. McCallum's punt drops inside the 30 and quickly downfield. There's Rolly Lambala to toss down Brian Dreismuller. Mike McCullough starts at middle linebacker today. The normal middle linebacker is standing by with Farhan Lalji.
Chris, Barron, I know how much you wanted to be in this game. How close were you to actually playing?
I was real close, you know. It improved all week long, and it came down to just being able to go full speed, and we didn't want to hurt the team. We wanted to make sure that we can have somebody out there full speed. So it was real close. This is the ultimate team game, so I'm going to trust my teammates to get me to next week, and we go to Calgary and get it done.
About your replacement, I was a big concern about run defense coming into this game, but so far so good.
Absolutely, Mike is playing a good game right now, and we did some things schematically that would, be good against the run. So we're doing a good job right now.
Thanks, Barron.
All right, appreciate it.
Leading tackler in the Canadian Football League. We'll have to watch and, like he said, hope his teammates can get it done and get them to Calgary in 1 week for that West Final.
Fifth time that Barron Simpson has led the CFL in tackles. Couple for West Kate, so it's 2nd and 8. And there's Dressler with another catch and a first down. So 2 completions for Darian Durant, and both into the hands of Weston Dressler to move the chains.
And finally for Saskatchewan, positive yards on 2nd down. Leading up to that play, they had minus 15 yards on 2nd down to that point. So some positive yards, something good happens on 2nd down for Saskatchewan. They get Dressler involved.
Still have not thrown to the leading receiver in the CFL this season, Andy Van Toos. 4 receivers wide side. Again, pressure, steps up. There's Van Toos. And away he goes, but there is a flag down. Fumble on the play, and the Lions come up with it. Dante Marsh, the football. And let's find out what the flag's all about back in the Roughrider backfield.
Looked like Aaron Hunt, the inside of that defensive line, was trying to make a move and looked like he got tackled. I'm not sure if that was the penalty call.
Ryan Phillips stripped the ball loose. Dante Marsh gets on it.
Major foul, roughing a passer. BC, number 56. 15 yards from the original point of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
But the Roughriders get a reprieve. Solomon Elamimian.
He's to the left of your screen. We'll step in a second. I saw Aaron Hunt get turned around. There he is right here. As he comes through the line, ball's gone, and ahead to the head.
So a big break for Saskatchewan and a first down at the Lion 53. There's Dressler, the hitch. And Dressler's a little guy, but hard to bring down. Another Weston Dressler first down.
Now they will call that helmet to helmet every time, and that leads to another first down, and all of a sudden this offense has a little bit of traction. Weston Dressler, they will move around in the formation. Play him out at wide receiver, play him inside at slot back at the number 2 spot, or all the way inside at the number 3 receiver on the 3 receiver side. So they'll move him around and get him the football, already starting to have a good night.
And Durant starting to improve his numbers. First down at the line 42. Here comes the heat again. Ball up in the air, and Wes Cates got it. And he's going to make something out of it. Down the sidelines. That could have been disaster.
It almost looked like Darian Durant was not sure if he should throw it away or try and get it to Wes Cates out of the backfield. There's Wes Cates right there in the backfield, and the pressure's coming. I believe it's Corey Banks, 24, who's going to try and blitz. They're trying to get it now as it breaks down. More of a shock put than anything. A broken tackle as Wes Cates breaks Anton McKenzie's tackle, and he makes something out of nothing.
Highland finally puts the stop to Cates, but it's a 23-yard gain. First down at the 18. They fake that hitch, and there's Cates. Down to the 15-yard line.
That's something we haven't seen throughout the regular season from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. An interesting misdirection play as Durant will pump fake it with his right hand and then underneath give a little cheeky, I'm going to call it cheeky handoff to Wes Cates.
I wonder if Ryan Dinwiddie put that play in. He's a Boise State guy. It looked a little like a Boise State Statue of Liberty. Never heard you say cheeky before. 2nd and 7. And there's a pass behind a wide open Jason Claremont.
They can't seem to get on the same page. That's a couple of times now that Darian Durant has missed Claremont. Now Claremont has been more involved in the offense the bottom half of the season here in the last 3 or 4 games. Not really involved for the first half, but just some chemistry issues here between Durant and Claremont. He's playing wide receiver for the most part here this evening, but misses him cleanly, well behind the target there.
Claremont 4 catches in his last game against the Lions, which was a season high. And now Keene on again, looking at a 22-yarder. And Warren Keene puts Saskatchewan back up by 4. Closed captioning of the CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Plan by Investors Group, a personalized approach to financial planning. Ken Miller's squad up by 4 with 9:05 remaining in the first half.
Well, they do have the lead, but they've had some opportunities to put majors on the board and have come away empty. Solomon Elamimian bailed out there with that late hit on Darian Durant. It didn't turn into a touchdown.
Lions elect to receive the kickoff after the latest field goal to get it in the hands of this man. And Giannis Davis up to the 45.
Travis Lulay, around 50% so far, has not been able to capitalize and take advantage of an aggressive Saskatchewan defense to go up over the top. We haven't heard a lot of Geroy Simon, but for, I believe, the first throw of the game.
He has spread it around, trying to adapt to the din of Mosaic. Lions have been a good road team, though. 5-4 on the road this season. Long out, and the catch is made. Paris Jackson another grab after what for Paris Jackson would have to be considered a disappointing season. First time in 3 years under 1,000 yards.
Last 2 games versus Saskatchewan, though, he has been around 100. He has contributed there. He's the wide receiver here. He's just going to run the double out with Geroy Simon. And he's got the bigger cushion from LaRon Mitchell, so that's where Lulay delivers the ball.
13-yard pickup and into Rough Rider territory. Lulay scrambling and dumps it off underneath, and there's O'Neal Wilson with the catch. And brought down by Gene Patrick at about the 32. 22 yards for O'Neal Wilson.
Well, Travis Lulay has Mike McCullough caught between a rock and a hard place here, because when he rolls out and gets outside, he can either run or throw now. That's where these athletic quarterbacks are so dangerous. And McCullough's wrong either way. If he stays back on Wilson, Lulay will run. If he comes up to tackle Lulay, he dumps it to Wilson like he did there.
Now Robertson cuts back, and Jamal Robertson with a good run down to the 20, and a Lion first down.
These athletic quarterbacks, both Darian Durant and Travis Lulay, if they start to get outside the pocket, let me show you that again. Run it, guys, and I'll show you McCullough, his decision that he's got to make. Here he comes now. When he breaks contain here, now McCullough's in trouble right here. Look at this. He comes, then he dumps it. He stays back, then Lulay's going to run. Both athletic quarterbacks haven't done a lot of that in this game yet tonight. Watch this develop more and more as this game goes on. Both Durant and Lulay can break down a defense with their legs, as Matt Dunnigan talked about before the game began.
Well, after the spot, it will be second down and less than the length of a football. Jarius Jackson will come in with the short yardage team. See if Wally Buono is a little more ambitious than that.
You think they might take a shot?
Well, he just shook his head on the sidelines. Well, we'll see if he plays it close to the vest or... Nope, they'll just have big Jarius Jackson plunge ahead and get a fresh set of downs.
In these games where the defenses have played well in the first quarter, it's a low-scoring game, field position important, and every time you have a chance in field goal range, you want to at least come away with that. But a good drive in response to the turnover and field goal for Saskatchewan from Travis Lulay.
Lions came in here a couple of years ago and won a playoff game when they forced Michael Bishop into 7 turnovers. First and 10. Here comes pressure. Lulay gets it away, and it does reach the intended target, Arsenault, with Lance Frazier on the scene. Dangerous pass for 3 yards.
Well, the timing was close there, because it looked like Lance Frazier a split second more, and he may jump that one. 3 receivers to the outside, and Frazier's going to run underneath it. And as he comes underneath that number 15, watch that timing. That's a split second away.
Byron Bullock, Kitwada Jones, and Corey Hucklack all check in for the Roughriders on defense. BC 2nd and 7. Lulay looks in the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Stephen Black.
Bunch formation for the BC Lions, and what a response. They're going to put Stephen Black in that bunch right on the line of scrimmage. They'll bring on the backside Geroy Simon, their #1 receiver's coming in to block. He's taken Tad Cornegay, so that gives Travis Lulay an extra second. Busted coverage by the Riders, and an easy touchdown catch for Stephen Black.
Lulay! I told you! You gotta do it! Okay!
6 plays, 66 yards. Black came in second half of the year, had 5 touchdowns, the first of the Western semifinal as the BC Lions take the lead.
5:35 left to go in the half.
Oh, and in addition, Stephen Black is to the BC Lion offense. 10 games during the regular season, 5 touchdowns, and he hits pay dirt here in the opening half in Regina. Paul McCallum with the kickoff, but play hadn't been whistled in, and they'll do it again. ready to reset this kickoff with 5:35 remaining in the first half.
Boy, the BC Lions, a big response from that field goal to come back with a major, and they've made a subtle adjustment to help Travis Lulay out offensively. Nice blitz pickup on that touchdown to Stephen Black.
Now McCallum booting it downfield. And Stu Ford, the local product, with the return. Up over the 30-yard line. Oh, we'd like to apologize for some audio troubles we just experienced. We're told they're temporary, and hopefully we're back up full steam. Darian Durant trying to hit on all cylinders. There's an interesting stat for Durant, and 60% is a magic number for him, and as you see, he's at 40% right now in the first half. Trying to get it back in the hands of Dressler. It does get there, but Dressler will be taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
That ball tipped at the line of scrimmage on its way to Dressler, who has picked up big yards in this same formation and same play in that first quarter. When he broke a bunch of tackles, it was Corey Banks. That ball went right through his hands. He almost had a pick there. You don't often see a screen play to a receiver intercepted.
Loss of 7 for number 7, Corey Banks, a Western All-Star. Lions have really turned the heat up on the Roughriders today with 3 sacks already, lots of pressures, although here time, and Durant looking incomplete. One, Dressler got a flag. Ryan Phillips, coverage too tight.
Not much argument from Ryan Phillips. Weston Dressler does what receivers have to do in situations like this. When the initial route is not there and the quarterback still has the football, you got to come back. If you're a deep receiver, you got to come back. Now a late holding call there too, so there's going to be offsetting penalties. We'll set it up second down again.
Left tackle Joel Bell called, as well as Ryan Phillips. So it'll be second down over again at 17. Darian Durant daring to throw in Ryan Phillips' direction. He of the 8 career picks against Durant. Again, time. And yet nobody open. He has to throw it away. Deron Williams finally put a little late heat on.
Again, Ryan Phillips was locked up on Weston Dressler. Got over the top of him. Dressler tried to go deep. Durant didn't like that matchup, so he tried to go backside. Didn't have anything there, and by that time the pocket had collapsed, and now he has to just save the loss and throw it away.
Turn is live, guys.
Giannis Davis had an 88-yard punt return touchdown against the Roughriders in their last meeting. Eddie Johnson with the kick that hits the carpet and stops up at the 45, and now Davis will try and get outside. Got a crease! Look out! And Giannis Davis just dropped. Nick Graham might have saved a touchdown. Giannis Davis with a 31-yard return.
You know, the BC Lions here on this return are trying to set up a wall return, and I think Giannis Davis saw that he wasn't going to get all the way outside, but he has such great quickness. And a good decision by James Juracek not to pick up the ball here for Lions fans. But watch how he makes his decision here that he's not going to get the corner, so go ahead and hit up in that one seam. Good yardage because he can accelerate through that hole like very few.
Nick Graham and LaRon Mitchell finally bring him down. That's the 12th punt return of over 20 yards allowed by the Roughriders this year. Lulay in trouble, got away. Still scrambling, and now will take a hit. Lance Frazier brings down the line quarterback.
Looked like to me James Patrick, Tad Cornegay got back in there to help out deep because Lule wanted the big play down the field.
Loss on the play. The 3-minute warning given to the benches here in the Western semifinal. Three minutes left, first half. Then it's GM Sierra live at the half as we check in with our panelists, Dave Randorf, Matt Dunnigan, Chris Schultz, Jock Climby. And what they've seen in this first half, another defensive battle so far. 2nd and 15 as Lule lost 5. And Lule looks for G. Simon and a catch short of the first down at the 30. And the field goal team likely to come on here.
Good decision there to go to throw it to G. Simon, because on that touchdown to Stephen Black, the BC offense asked G. Simon to block for the play and for Travis Lule as he comes back inside. I want to show you that one more time because you don't often see this, folks, where the star receiver for the football team is blocking on blitz protection.
Paul McCallum sizing this up from 37 yards out. Jackson puts it down, and he's Mr. Automatic this year. And a 6-point BC Lion lead. Suits, while we have the opportunity, congratulations to the Saskatoon Hilltops. Yesterday won their 14th Canadian junior title, a 34-23 win over the Vancouver Island Raiders. And today in Quebec, a CJEP championship for Andre Grissett over Lionel Gru, 47-14. Danny Machocha helping coach that team, so our congratulations to Danny. Argos winning earlier. And now the Lions and Roughriders trying to determine an opponent for the Calgary Stampeders. Here's Durant. Wants Andy Fantuz and just out of his reach. Working against David Highland.
Andy Fantuz, as we mentioned off the top, led the Canadian Football League in receiving yards with 1,380 and is the first Canadian to do so since Dave Sapunjis did it in 1995. He had 2 years in the modern era. That's the only Canadians to lead the league in receiving. For Andy Fantuz, it's more than just a number. He becomes an inspiration to every young amateur football player in our country, just like that quickly.
Only catch in this first half negated by a penalty as he looks downfield. Durant, and that one out of the reach of the intended target, Chris Getzlaff. And once again, it's a 2-and-out Roughriders. And Darian Durant hasn't solved the Lions' defensive puzzle yet.
Getzlaff is the middle receiver on the 3-receiver side, gets locked up on Stanley Franks, who is likely the Lion nominee for outstanding rookie, if not for a great 11 games in a row from Elamimian in the middle of that defense. He has just come on, tested early, and in perfect position there. Stanley Franks covers Getzlaff like a blanket.
Ball's gone.
Giannis Davis just stepped out, and they'll mark him inside the 40-yard line. So next Sunday, the East Final will feature the Argos and the Alouettes. Winner of this goes to McMahon. Tickets available for both games, and there's how you can get your tickets.
Toronto Argonauts, congratulations on the way to the Eastern Final to face the Montreal Alouettes. Great turnaround season for that organization.
And a couple wins over the Alouettes in the regular season. Lions trying to enhance the 6-point lead before the half. And the screen to Robertson. And Robertson hauled down by Marcus Adams.
I think we're watching here, Chris, the emergence of one of the young stars at quarterback in Travis Lulay. I've been impressed with his decisions. I mean, he has not been flustered by the crowd, but for one series where he had a snap, and that didn't even look like it was his fault. Looked like Angus Reid just didn't hear him. Communication issue there. But he has not been flustered. His first start in the playoffs in the CFL. Pretty good numbers. And no huge glaring mistakes so far.
Short yardage team on with Jarius Jackson. Second less than a yard. Arsenal in motion, and again, Jackson keeps. Not much of a push, but enough for a BC first down. Well, in his last 6 games, Travis Lulay's pass efficiency rating, 99.5, which is in the elite category.
You know, the first of the 6 was a 2-point win against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The 2 losses in those 6 games went to overtime. The Winnipeg meltdown and the last game for Casey Printers, and then Travis Lulay against Edmonton in overtime. But could have been easily 6 straight wins.
From the Roughrider 53, a first down. Lulay guns that in, and it's broken up. Mike McCullough on the scene in a hurry to separate O'Neal Wilson from the football.
You know, it's a game of inches sometimes. We've said that many times. And that ball from Lulay went to the inside shoulder of O'Neal Wilson instead of the outside shoulder. If it's in the outside shoulder, Wilson has a chance at the catch, because coming inside out was Mike McCullough.
Clock stopped, 2nd and 10, and here's Lulay rolling, throwing, wants Paris Jackson, got it! What a catch! Paris Jackson over the shoulder as he walked the tightrope down the sidelines.
And did he get his foot in bounds? First of all, it looked like he was pushed out of bounds, so he will be legal to catch this football. Looks like here on the sideline, Omar Morgan's going to give him a little push in. Now he's pushed out of bounds, so he can come back in and catch the pass. Now, did he get his feet in bounds? He did on the left. Tough to tell completely from that angle. And a challenge flag out from Ken Miller. He wants to take a look.
It would be a 35-yard play for Paris Jackson, but Ken Miller contesting the call.
If you're pushed out of bounds, you can come back in. If you run out on your own, Paris Jackson could not catch this. He's legal to participate in the play. Now, does he have control with the left foot down, and is that right foot in? Looks like there may be some green in between.
The field of a completed pass.
Let's show you the first part of this play first while they're reviewing whether or not that foot is in bounds. And I look like I see a little bit of green in between the white stripe and Paris Jackson's foot. But if Paris Jackson runs out of bounds on his own here, he's not even eligible to catch this pass. But you could see the push there. He's still in bounds. Now Omar Morgan forces him out, so he is allowed to come back and participate in the play. Now he's got both feet in bounds here. That foot's in. Now, even if he doesn't have complete control now, that foot comes down there, and we showed you from the opposite angle. It looked like there was some green in between his right shoe and that white sideline right there. Let's just, we'll...
If he goes out on his own and comes back, is it okay? I didn't think so either, but sometimes, you know.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. A completed catch. First down.
So Paris Jackson has his 3rd catch of the game. That a 35-yarder. 3 for 58 in the first half. And Wally Buono's team in the score zone with 1:38 on the clock.
Still a good challenge by Ken Miller. You had to take a look at that.
They scored out of a punch formation last time they were in this neighborhood. And they go punch formation here. Lule backpedals, looks end zone. Again, wide open. And Geroy Simon can't bring it in.
He's working in tandem to the left side of the formation. Geroy Simon here is going to work off the inside and then end up going to the post. And I think he hesitates just a little bit as he's clearing the coverage here from LaRon Mitchell. Inside move gets him in. Now watch him accelerate. Can't throw it much better.
He usually has that one. And that has to be a concern for the Roughriders. Wide open receivers in their end zone on more than one occasion. 2nd and 10. Lule in backpedal with a flag down, and now he'll take off. And gets to the sidelines. Does he get close to that first down? Mike McCullough pushes him out, but there is a penalty flag back in the Lion backfield.
Travis Lule had a lot of time back there in the pocket, and by the time you're past about 4 steamboats, often this is holding by the offensive line.
Holding. BC number 53. 10-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That's Jesse Newman who gets the start at right guard for the injured Shirko Hadji-Brazili.
For the Riders, you take a look at this play, and they have to go and pat their secondary on the back because Newman locks up there. Now he pulls down, I believe, Mullender, because it took too long.
BC native grew up cheering for the Lions, played for the Stamps, and now trying to confirm a date to play against his old team, Jesse Newman, but it's 2nd and 20. Lule rolls and throws downfield, and what a great throw that was. O'Neal Wilson. And the Roughriders arguing O'Neal Wilson didn't have control as he fell out of bounds. There was a bobble, but they're ruling a catch.
That's an amazing throw for Travis Lule.
Was it ever?
Oh my goodness. I mean, they're going to be short here. But for Travis Lule to be rolling this way and against the grain here because he's a right-handed quarterback, and then having to be flushed at full speed because Jarrell Freeman is right in his kitchen, and to be able to throw that accurately to the outside. This was the play before on the holding. He doesn't know it's holding. He's going out of bounds, and he takes a hit to try and get that first down. I think we're seeing a bright young star emerge here.
So McCallum to make it a 2-score lead for the Lions, and he puts that through. 20-yard field goal, and Wally Buono has a 9-point lead with 73 seconds remaining in the first half, and they have scored a touchdown and 2 field goals on their last 3 possessions.
The road to the Grey Cup championship has begun. The tournament has begun. That Grey Cup this year sold out before the season began. Now, tickets for the 2011 Grey Cup in Vancouver don't officially go on sale yet, but you can wrap up your tickets there if you contact Dash Tours, the official tour operator for 2011 Grey Cup in Vancouver.
Darian Durant trying to get things going. Gary Koch had a little trouble securing the ball and got swarmed when he finally did.
Rider fans, I'm sure, are wondering what's going on with Darian Durant, and I think it's no more than just a little bit of adrenaline that he has got to go in that halftime now. He's had opportunities for plays down the field. Think back to the first quarter. This crowd real quiet all of a sudden. That first quarter throw to Weston Dressler over his head. A couple of times he's missed Jason Claremont.
The only big plays so far have been to Dressler, 2nd and 10. On a roll, has not taken off yet, and that one will draw a penalty. They're going to call illegal grounding.
Well, I'm not sure the ball crossed the line of scrimmage.
He wanted to throw it away, but you're right, he got tripped up and didn't get it far enough downfield. They're going to mark it back at the 27.
Intentional grounding. Saskatchewan number 4. It'd be 3rd down.
Right on the 35-yard line is where the ball is snapped from. So there's your line of scrimmage. We'll see if this ball, because there was no receiver in the area when Darian Durant is flushed here. Again, Karan Williams having himself a game in this first half. Does the ball cross the 35? No. Goes out of bounds short of the 35.
That middle linebacker's had a good first half. Solomon Elamimian, but for one penalty. And now Giannis Davis flagged down. Lions still have 32 seconds left to increase the lead. Let's check the flag. And it is going against the Roughriders. Now, you talked about Travis Lulay being a quick study as a freshman.
No yards. Saskatchewan number 27. 15-yard penalty. First down.
2-7 takes a 15-yarder. Nick Graham. Well, we talked about the 60%. When he's over 60%, he's 8-0. 2-8 when under 60%, and he is well under 60% at the moment. In fact, he's at 40%, 6 for 15. There's Travis Lulay to work. Looking downfield and incomplete for G. Roy Simon. Just to finish the thought on Lulay, freshman for Montana State. The arch rivals are Montana, and he went in and beat Montana as a freshman, and he has shown a lot of veteran savvy so far this afternoon as well.
He has. Calm and cool in his first playoff start. And, you know, those are a couple of throws now to G. Roy Simon that I know both were a little bit long, but he had both hands on them and missed them both.
Asked him before the game if he had a lot of cold weather experience. He said, I love playing in the snow. None of that here, but the cold weather, not a factor either. He dumps it off, and Jamal Robertson's got it. Trying to get outside. He's got a first down. Pushed up by LaRon Mitchell.
Got a first down, Chris, and field goal range, even though it would be a long one. Paul McCallum's long on the season is 50.
19 seconds left in this opening half.
Jamal Robertson, who's got 30 passes in the last 4 games for the Lions, has been sort of the extension of the running game for BC down the stretch. Picks up big yardage and a first down and give him a chance. They got a time for maybe a play or two to get Paul McCallum a little closer.
That really started against Calgary a few weeks ago when Robertson had 10 of the 17 Lulay completions in the game. Luke Mulliner in pursuit. Lulay downfield. He wants G-Roy, and that's incomplete as Simon crashes into the signage with Patrick and Fraser in coverage.
They got Travis Lulay, though, BC, on the run. In other words, rolling to his left, movement to his right, changing that launch point, allowing him to use his athletic ability to put a bind in that Saskatchewan defense. They've got them on the run. Now, in this situation, 12 seconds left. The goal has got to be to try and get Paul McCallum just a little bit closer. And maybe even in the middle of the field.
Might have to hustle to get this off. And they do just get the play away. And a drop by Emmanuel Arsenault. Wow.
Took a peek.
He did. At the 30-yard line, which would have been an easy shot for McCallum.
I mentioned he's become a favorite target, but this would have been a chip shot had he caught this. Now he's going to put a little more pressure on his field goal kicker because of a drop. And again, that you can't put that on Travis Lulay. That's 3 throws now. One in the end zone to G. Roy Simon dropped. One drop there to Emmanuel Arsenault.
And Wally Boito elects not to even try the long field goal.
Interesting.
Going to punt instead. And McCallum looks for that far side and nails it inside the 10-yard line, but they did not want to risk a 51-yarder and a big return to change the momentum they built.
Well, I'm a little surprised that he didn't try this. I mean, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have not had a season where they have that dangerous returner on a missed field goal attempt like a Giannis Davis, like a Chad Owens in Toronto. They have not had that. in Saskatchewan. 51-yarder. I don't see a lot of wind, if any. Now, it may be a little bit stronger on field level, but interesting decision because now no points.
And the Roughriders take a knee to end the opening 30 minutes of football. And the crowd at Mosaic rather quiet as the Roughriders will trail by 9 in the Western Semi to the Lions. Welcome back to Mosaic and the Western semifinal that sees the BC Lions with a 9-point lead as we head to the second half. But first, to the sidelines, Farhan Lalshi with Saskatchewan coach Ken Miller.
Coach, you're still very much in this game, but at times in that first half, it looked like Darian may have been pressing things a little bit. What did you say to him at halftime?
Well, I just told him to be calm, and we need to play catch, on offense. We had some early opportunities, missed throws. Our defense is playing our fannies off, doing a great job. Teams are doing a great job as well. So we get our offense moving, we'll be okay.
Second quarter, it seemed there weren't a lot of guys open. Can the receivers do more to get open?
Well, they can do some more to get open, but we just need to make some throws, and we need to run the football a little bit as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
They didn't play much catch in that first half, did they?
No, clearly Darian Durant looked like he had a little nerves get to him. Maybe his routine was a little off after the Ryan Phillips thing before the game. We talked about whatever the reason he was off. He was missing his open targets. I'm sure he'll settle down at halftime and come out, throw the football a lot better in this second half. Really have to get this offense going.
Last year in the postseason, he had games of 201 and 204, which are modest numbers, but you would think that was the worst half he's played in the playoffs.
Two things he can do, Chris, to get going. One is start to run the football a little bit. Take off and run with it. A couple of quarterback draws may be able to settle him down. He's a great athlete, can run and break tackles. The other is Andy Fantus, leading receiver in the Canadian Football League coming in. That's the guy he leans on when he has to. Has not had a catch in this game tonight.
Here we go, second half. McCallum kicks it away. Lions electing to take the game they wanted for the fourth quarter as Grace Mullen gets outside, and they'll be tracked out of bounds at around the 45. So field position hasn't been an issue. Starting point for the Roughriders so far in this game.
Take a look at the numbers for the quarterbacks, and one quarterback in Darian Durant has one playoff start, one Grey Cup start under his belt. Travis Lulay in his first. Lulay with the better numbers after a half. No mistakes by either quarterback. The interception column empty so far.
Durant was the 9th leading rusher in the CFL this year. And didn't run as much in the second half of the season with a bad ankle. Says the ankle's fine and he'd be turned loose today. Here's been his most reliable receiver on the day. Weston Dressler has a catch. Close to a first down at midfield.
Right out of the gate, it looked like the adrenaline was pumping for Darian Durant, because when you overthrow like that, you just put too much on it. He overthrows Weston Dressler. Big play opportunity. Well over the head of Jason Claremont, who he missed a couple of times. Some open receivers that Durant was having some problems finding. But it looks like he's already settled a little bit. Nice, good, hard throw right to the middle of his stomach on Weston Dressler to start the second half.
Second and less than a yard. The Rhino package comes on for the Roughriders. You know what I think every time I see second and inches.
Go over the top, take a shot.
Go big. Chucky Adams in motion. And they will. And they've got Andy Fantus wide open. And he missed him again.
Well, you called it, Coach.
And Fantus can't get more open than that.
Well, and you mentioned Chucky Adams in motion. You don't hear that very often. In fact, Corey Banks trying to react to it. And it's Andy Fantus down the seam, and it's still, even though they catch that motion, and Banks does, he is still behind by 3 or 4 steps, in fact, about 2 yards. And Durant misses him.
And a quick plunge for the first down to move the chains.
Well, you wonder how much doubt now is creeping into the mind of Darian Durant now. He's had a tough first half. He's missed a couple open receivers. Looked like he might have been trying to aim that one in there a little bit and not putting enough air on the ball again. When you have a receiver that wide open, I know it's easier said than done. A little more air and allow him to adjust to it.
Again, wind really not a factor here at Mosaic here in mid-November. And there's Fantuz, and he could only get one hand on that.
Well, it's a crucial moment right now for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and their football team offensively, because this is the point now where it's real easy to get frustrated. Andy Fantuz was open again, and you could see just by his expression the frustration building in now. But the team that starts pointing fingers at each other is a team that the wheels come completely off of.
Boy, that second down production tells the story of the day. 2nd and 10. Looks one way and another, and then is tripped up. Another sack. Karan Williams got it. And Williams has 3 on the day.
3-man pressure from the BC Lions with one spy in Solomon Elimimian, who is going to spy Durant in case of a draw. 1, 2, 3 rushers, and then Elimimian right here will spy. And watch the pressure come up. Now this is 3 on 6 because they leave Wes Cates in initially, and Karan Williams gets there.
Big free agent signing that didn't have the season he was hoping for. Just 5 sacks, but 3 here in 3 quarters of football in the Western Semi. Giannis Davis twists and turns, and he'll be dropped at the 5. A 52-yard punt for Eddie Johnson to put some heat on the Lions. This is a big part of the game right here, isn't it? The Lions backed up. Will start at their 6. Robertson. What a big run this is. And Jamal Robertson erases any difficulty of being backed up in a hurry.
Well, this gets the BC Lions out of a lot of trouble, and it bails out a couple of special teams mistakes by the Lions on that previous punt, because this makes it all go away. And what are they doing is they're pitching the football to Jamal Robertson outside of that defense that loves to load up between the tackles. They're getting 25 to the perimeter and then allowing him to pick his holes. That gets him out of terrible field position.
37-yard run. Only Fred Reed had more runs of over 20 yards on the season than Jamal Robertson. 60 in the game for Robertson on the first down for the Lions, and that pass batted down as they tried to dump it off to Robertson coming out of the backfield.
Let me show you the mistakes I believe the BC Lions made. They've done a great job all year on their special team. Chuck McMahon is their team's coach, but I believe this is a mistake. That's Andrew Harris right there, and there's Giannis Davis. First of all, Giannis Davis needs to be into the boundary. That's where every team kicks every time. But not only that, Andrew Harris is going to pass up this ball and force Davis all the way over there to the corner. That's never going to work. Now, they get out of that field position on one play by Jamal Robertson, who bails them out big time.
Mulliner with the knockdown, setting up 2nd and 10. Lule scrambling. Is he going to take off? He does. And Travis Lule still running a big first down into the Roughriders, into the field at the 45 of Saskatchewan.
He's made so many good throws, even in this game alone, Chris, coming to his left like that and rolling against the grain, that the Riders secondary have got to stay back in coverage. Now, he needs one block once he gets out here to get the corner, and he gets that from his receiver to get in the way of Jarrell Freeman and Stephen Black, who's made a touchdown catch in the game. Those are the little things, folks, that make a difference.
Dave Dickinson told me a week ago that Stephen Black's got a little Nick Lewis in him in his ability to block. Here's Robertson straight ahead and dropped at the 40-yard line.
I'm just amazed at the composure from a guy in his first start. I mean, I want to try and put this in perspective. He started 9 games. 9 games in the regular season in his career.
And he was 0-3 out of the gate.
Yeah, had to bounce back from that. Rallied his team to make the playoffs. He's putting up numbers. calm, cool, and collected. Had to jump and catch that shotgun snap, or else that's a turnover.
They go no huddle on 2nd and 5. Robertson popped over one, but he'll be dropped short of the first down. Corey Hucklack, who has been more involved, the Manitoba product, makes the tackle for the Roughriders.
Whether they kick a field goal here, punt it, or decide to gamble, the damage is done for BC to get out of that field position. And I say damage to the Saskatchewan momentum, because they just now moved the ball out of terrible field position and will line up a field goal attempt. It's basically mission accomplished, really, no matter what happens here now for the Lions.
Well, they'll try a 45-yarder into a light breeze. He's hit from 44 at this end. And puts that one up and over. Paul McCallum, 4 for 4 in the day. And the lead's now 12. Well, things at Mosaic get a little more uncomfortable with that latest Paul McCallum field goal. A 12-point lead. You heard Ken Miller say they wanted to get the running game going, and Wes Cates kicks it outside and is angled out at the 43, close to 8 for Cates.
Mike Benavides has got him on the run a little bit here, the defensive coordinator for BC, because he's been able to rush 3 defensive linemen, or maximum 4, and I believe the panel talked about that at halftime as well. When you can do that, there's so much more you can do in coverage. And when Karan Williams is playing the way he's playing tonight, when you just rush 3 or 4, then that's a luxury every defensive coordinator loves.
Last week, second down conversions, Hamilton 0 for 10 against BC, and today, Roughriders 1 for 12 as they should convert here on that rush.
But Wes Cates had to work for it.
Yes, he did.
Because he had to work for it through number 9's arms, because he is flying around. Karan Williams is having himself a game. And Wes Cates gets his first down, but he earns every inch. Hard hit there, then he twists and turns and pushes him down. Look at the scars. That helmet was completely clean for Karan Williams when he showed up here in Regina tonight.
Earning the free agent money today. Durant, crosser, Derek Coke. And Coke lunging over midfield and has close to 9. Look at who's in on the tackle. Karan Williams downfield.
Well, he was, and it's tremendous hustle, because Karan Williams is deliberately not going to go after Durant here. He's just going to try and read this screen and hold it out. Watch him off the end here while he's working on Joel Bell. He's waiting. Now he hustles underneath on the line of scrimmage, and guess who's there to help out with the tackle? Number 9.
Second and a yard. And Cates has the first down. It's tossed down by Jonathan Brown.
He started out on fire. I believe it was the first series, and Darian Durant said hello to Karan Williams. When you can rush 3 and 4, the quarterback's going to hold the ball a split second, because the rest of the players on defense are dropped in coverage. Karan Williams has only needed a split second.
First down, Saskatchewan. They fake the pitch. And Durant, and that one is it intercepted? Flag is down on the play. And what's the ruling over there? The Lion who came up with the football, looks like it's going to be a penalty against BC in any event. Dante Marsh slow to get up, and another Lion was shaken up at the BC bench.
I think the question is whether or not Dante Marsh got to Weston Dressler, who was the intended receiver, a little before the ball did.
Pass interference, BC number 31. Automatic first down.
He's going to end up picking up dresser number 7 as he drops his man and then jumps up. Now he makes contact there as the ball is arriving and is a split second early. That's the penalty drawn there. Now I'm not sure if his teammate Anton McKenzie intercepted or not, but it doesn't matter due to the penalty.
Didn't matter. McKenzie shaking up on the play. It is a first down, and Durant, first time today, takes off and does some damage. Oh, gets cut down. Dante Marsh does his own damage. Wow.
And Durant confidently signals first down. I really believe that's the type of play that will settle Darian Durant down, even after taking a big hit from Dante Marsh. He'll pick his times, but when he runs like this team has success. Now he'll take a big hit. It's playoff time.
Well, for Durant, who led all quarterbacks in rushing yards this year. Cates straight ahead, big chunk, down to the 20.
Led the Canadian Football League in rushing yards for quarterbacks, ahead of Henry Burr, Stephen Giles in Winnipeg, and Travis Lulay in a lot less playing time than any of the three above him. Both quarterbacks in this game tonight, great running quarterbacks. You hadn't seen a lot of it from Darian Durant, but all of a sudden a little combination of Wes Cates and him running, and they've got some traction.
8th play of the drive, it's 2nd and 2. Back to Cates, and he'll get drilled back by Anton McKenzie. Is that enough for the first down? Like we'll get a measurement. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
Ken Miller told everybody watching what they needed to do in this second half. Establish the running game to settle down their quarterback a little bit, get him in manageable situations. Close enough, I think Ken Miller will go ahead and go for it here.
Inches away.
They've got Wes Cates going in this drive. Got themselves in second and short yardage for the most part in this drive. And then that Darian Durant run. 24 yards rushing in this half alone for Wes Cates.
So 3rd and inches behind Jeremy O'Day, the all-star center of the West. That will move the chains.
Doug Barry and Ken Miller, the offensive coordinator, Doug Barry, and his head coach, Ken Miller, clearly their conversation at halftime was to settle down their quarterback, who is still young, experience-wise. 40 starts for him as a pro, a couple in the playoffs, 1 in the Grey Cup. He's still young, experience-wise. To settle him down, they wanted to establish the run. They've done that in the second half. They're doing that in this drive.
3rd trip to the red zone. They are 0 for 2 field goals, but no touchdowns. With the best touchdown percentage in this area during the season. And there's another Karan Williams tackle on Wes Cates.
It's really been a tale of two teams here when you think about their red zone production. Saskatchewan quite a bit better during the regular season coming into this game. In the playoffs, when they get inside the 20-yard line. You can see they both had the same attempts in the regular season inside the 20, but very different in their results as far as touchdown goes. And as far as I'm concerned, touchdowns a success. If you're settling for field goals when you're inside the 20, that's a win for the defense.
So they were at 64% touchdowns during the regular season. They need a big conversion here. He's got some time. Anybody open? It's for Cates. Big play. Wes Cates take it out inside the 10. And this will be close to a first down.
Well, Chris, it just seems to me that for Darian Durant, throughout his 2 years, once he starts to move around and run, he gets into a comfort zone. And where he was really struggling in the accuracy department in the first half, you can't get more accurate than that throw over the shoulder of James Jurachuk into the hands of his running back.
12th play of the drive upcoming in Saskatchewan's 1st and goal. at the BC 6. Chris Zarka, the Port Coquitlam native, in at fullback now. Riders go 2 back. Take to Zarka. The toss. Keats. Beautifully defended.
Really was.
Solomon Elamimian with the initial contact. Adam Leonard cleaned up.
But he wasn't the only one. Anton McKenzie's got a responsibility on this as well. He's got what's called zap technique. So Anton McKenzie is going to slide over here and take quarterback, and then he's going to allow Elamimian take the pitchman. Watch number 42 go to Darian Duran. He slides outside. He takes quarterback right there. Pitch goes out. Now the other linebacker's got responsibility for the running back. Well defended.
Under 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter, and it's 2nd and goal from the 4. 6 receivers out. Short drop. Dressler, touchdown.
The rub from West Cape. Empty backfield. West Cates to the right of your screen has emptied out of that backfield, and he is going to set the pick for Dressler to cut underneath it, and is wide open.
A 12-play drive, 75 yards. And the Roughriders get back in it. 86 seconds left, third quarter. BC by 5. 5-point game here now, and the Dressler touchdown was the 13th play of the drive. You mentioned not available for the postseason last year.
Let's go get this one. The time he played in the playoffs was 08. The semifinal versus BC had 5 for 93 in that one.
Johnson lofts it downfield, and Giannis Davis from his 9. And good cover, Nick Graham puts a stop to Giannis Davis. Lion football when we come back.
Let's show you that Weston Dressler touchdown. They're going to work off the rub here of West Cates and have Dressler underneath. Now down on the goal line, defensive backs are going to tell the linebackers, you got to switch it. Solomon Elamimian gets locked up on his man on Cates, and he does not pick up. Watch here, Ryan Phillips talking to his linebacker saying, we've got to switch this. You take the inside guy, I'll take the outside guy. Elamimian gets locked up there. Weston Dressler works off the pick. Touchdown, Saskatchewan. No way Ryan Phillips could get there.
Weston Dressler's energized mosaic. Travis Lulay passed a big test on the last Lions series when he moved the football downfield from the BC 6. Let's see how he responds after the Rough Rider touchdown. Hands it off Robertson. Nothing off the right side. Brent Hawkins in on the tackle as Robertson falls ahead for a couple.
Both teams going to their running games, and now BC will be forced into a passing situation because of good first down defense by Saskatchewan there. Jacques Chapdelaine, the offensive coordinator, has now got to put his quarterback. He's got him on the run of late. Let's see if he throws from the pocket here.
Lulay on the run and throws it incomplete. He wanted Robertson. We would have been close to the first down, but a 2-and-out when the Rough Riders are trying to maintain the momentum they built off that last offensive drive.
Well, that was close to first down territory for Jamal Robertson, who it looked like the ball was in the place it had to be. Mike McCullough in chase. I don't know if you can throw it any closer, any better.
Like Robertson was trying to make sure his feet were in the right spot, but the hands weren't. And neither there as Bryce Mullen dropped it. It's enveloped by Anthony Reddick. So can Darian Durant keep this momentum shift alive?
Come on.
With a play or two left in this third quarter.
Now that they've established the run, Chris, it opens the door up for play action offensively. Now you've got those linebackers thinking about Wes Cates.
Starting at their 49, 6 receivers out. And Durant has Cope. Carry Cope. Down to the 32. Final play of the third quarter. It sets up a big fourth at Mosaic. Our third quarter stats brought to you by Tim Hortons, proud sponsor of the CFL.
Well, Saskatchewan's defense has stepped up in that third quarter against Travis Luley, but maybe more importantly for Rider fans is that Darian Durant seems to have calmed down and settled in. Over 40 yards rushing for Saskatchewan in the third quarter. To me, Chris, that's been the difference. When they got Wes Cates involved and Darian Durant runs the football himself, they're a better offense.
Still, the numbers aren't Durant-like or Saskatchewan-like, but suddenly their predicament isn't as serious, already in scoring position to start this fourth quarter.
Well, it's opened up the passing game all of a sudden now when they've able to go play action, and the Saskatchewan BC defense, have to look at Wes Cates and concentrate on him.
That Cope catch brings it down to the 32-yard line, 29 for Kerry Cope, and a Rough Rider first down. The quarterback draw is not going to work. Karan Williams tosses Durant down again.
Well, not surprised they called it, but the one-man wrecking crew for BC's defense comes up big for them and puts now Darian Durant in the second and long situation. And Karan Williams, again, let's take a look. BC, 3-man pressure. And that's the type of defensive front that you want to go ahead and try and run that play. In other words, a perfect call for the defense that they're facing. The only intangible that you can't count on is a great individual effort. And that's what the Lions' Karan Williams gave you.
5 sacks regular season, 4 today. Second and 13. Catch is made by Claremont. Broke a tackle and has a first down. At the 16-yard line, the former Lion, a 2-time top Canadian. Jason Claremont moves the chains.
Kerry Cope is coming across the middle deeper and trying to create some space. Here's Cope coming across the field this way, and then you're going to see Claremont coming underneath that. He's going to create some space for Jason Claremont underneath by forcing Ryan Phillips to bubble outside. That allows Claremont to turn his shoulders upfield and make that move to get a key first down.
Remarkably, still no catches for Bantus or Getzlaff here in this game. Back into the hands of Cates, and Brent Johnson pulls him down. Brent, Western All-Star once again, and the Lion all-time quarterback sack leader.
10 games as a full-time starter for Brent Johnson, and was supposed to be a rotating defensive lineman this year, but due to all the injuries, he forced into action full-time. Ron Williams.
Well, that front four has come together with Aaron Hunt returning. Williams, a monster game. Jonathan Brown's been active. Brent Johnson on that last tackle. 2nd and 9. Durant to the goal line, and Ryan Phillips almost had another.
He can't believe it either. In case you're just tuning in, we mentioned this earlier, but Ryan Phillips, 13 interceptions in 17 games versus Saskatchewan in his career. 13 of his 27. 8 versus Darian Durant in the last couple. It's a cat and mouse game that's gone on since Durant's been the starting quarterback, and Ryan Phillips lets one slip through his fingers. Almost got his 9th against Durant.
So Warren Keane back on, has made 2, this from 22. And he just tucks it in, and now they are down by 2. in the third quarter. BC only had it for 4:16, and they've yet to get their hands on the football in the opening 2:45 of the fourth quarter. Eddie Johnson kicks it off. And it will be Andrew Harris on the return. The former Vancouver Island Raider with a good return to set up Travis Lulay. But the Lions haven't had the football for very long here in the second half. And can Lulay heat up again?
Oh, yeah, you're right, Chris. And that time of possession starts to add up against the defense as well. So Lulay, more than anything, needs to stay on the football field for a couple of first downs here. Even if they have to punt the ball away, they need to give their defense a rest right now.
He's only thrown 2 passes in the second half, and neither were complete. One was dropped. And here comes the pressure. He scrambles out, and he gets nailed. Jarrell Freeman limits Lulay to maybe a yard.
Jarrell Freeman, who's playing for Sean Lucas in this linebacking corps, starting linebacker here tonight. He's got 2 responsibilities. He'll drop and look for crossers, and he can also close in a hurry. He's looking up crossing routes from receivers. If he doesn't see any now, he spies Travis Lulay. Good open field tackle.
They do give Lulay a pair, so it's 2nd and 8. And quickly over the middle, guns a first down and a big one. Manny Arsenault's got the catch. The Roughriders zone to the 49.
And this time, Travis Lulay spots the ball. And because Arsenault is going to have some pressure from the outside in as he runs this curl from Omar Morgan. But the ball spotted to his inside shoulder so he can protect himself and move upfield.
Third catch on the night for Emmanuel Arsenault. Pitch to Robertson. And that run defense has been stout today. Keith Shulligan, the Spruce Grove native, has a tackle.
Third quarter been a big difference on first down for the BC Lions. They just have not been able to get that 5, 6, 7 yards you're looking for on first down to open up your playbook.
Jacques Chapdelaine sending in the play. They go no huddle again here. Another 2nd and 8 for Travis Lulay. On Paris Jackson, and he'll be stopped immediately. Lance Frazier with the tackle around the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down, and Wally Guado will likely send out the punt team.
Yeah, certainly will at this length and at this juncture in the game when it's just a 2-point game. But the BC Lions did accomplish one thing. They did stay on the field for a first down. They did give their defense a little bit of a breather on the bench. Now a good kick here from Paul McCallum gives him a chance in field position.
High snap, pretty good kick, and this one is going to stop up. Will it roll to the goal line? Good play by Grace Mullen as he concedes a single. It will be a 3-point lead, but that could have been a big hole for the Roughriders. Roughriders have a touchdown and a field goal on their last 2 possessions, a 13-yard touchdown drive. It's got a lot of steamboats here. Wants to go deep. He wants Weston Dressler. Got him. Dressler. Touchdown. yards. Roughriders have the lead.
In order to win playoff football games, you got to be solid up front. You've got to be able to protect for your quarterback. Watch how long Darian Durant has in the pocket. All day to slide to his left and wait for Weston Dressler to open up behind everybody.
touchdown catches for Dressler in the game. The extra point from Keene, and it's the Roughriders by 4.
Weston Dressler has to cover a lot of real estate to work all the way from that number 3 receiver spot. He's not even the closest to Darian Durant to go down the field and then cross the face of Ryan Phillips. He's not done yet, folks. He's got to run another 30 yards before he opens up behind everybody. And to do that, Darian Durant has got to have time in the pocket, and boy, does he ever.
7th catch of the night for number 7, 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. Roughriders on a 17-1 run. Thomas Davis up across the 35-yard line.
So let's take a look at the time Darian Durant needs. Weston Dressler had to cover that 30 yards, so he's going to need 3 or 4. So here goes snap and roll, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, almost 6 seconds before he feels any pressure. Tremendous blocking up front, Chris Zarka helping out, and they slide to Karan Williams to take him out of the play. So lots of attention to number 9, Durant with time, and Dressler gets open.
Missed a couple deep shots early in the game. Durant on the money, and now it's into Lulay's hands. And that quick hitter is caught by Stephen Black, who has a touchdown in the game. Omar Morgan pulls him down.
Coaches also involved here because this is an adjustment. Watch them slide the offensive line and take care of number 9. He's been causing all problems, Karan Williams, in this game. So what do? They'll slide their big guys over there. Now they got 2-3 on Karan Williams there, giving lots of time for Darian Durant to work the backside of the formation and go to Dressler.
2nd and 2. Robertson, and he's got the first down, a big one for the Lions, up close to the 50. He's Shulligan again on the tackle. Hasn't been easy all year for Wally Bono and the Lions, and it's not going to be easy today. A 19-7 lead got away from them.
You have to feel like these BC Lions are basically playoff tested. Their last 3 games were basically playoff games for them, and the composure of Travis Lulay is really showing that.
10 of their 18 games decided by a touchdown or less. Lulay, a little pump and go. He wants Paris Jackson just out of his reach. And LaRon Mitchell on the corner was stride for stride.
LaRon Mitchell has won the job for the Riders on that corner over the last 4 or 5 weeks. They had moved Tad Cornegay to that spot with injuries. They had to move Cornegay back, but it wasn't just the injury. LaRon Mitchell's making plays, and believe me, he's been tested. So with Cornegay back at linebacker, LaRon Mitchell has earned that job out there, and he's in perfect position on that play.
2nd and 10. And somebody moved on that offensive line. And it's going to be 2nd and 15. Is that 2 penalties and a timeout for the Mosaic fans today?
Procedure. BC number 63. 5-yard penalty remains, 2nd down.
And if you're a football fan in Montreal or Calgary watching this game, that's the influence you can have for the home team. Now that puts so much more pressure on the young quarterback, Travis Lulay.
Downfield and a big catch and a conversion there. G-Roy Simon steps out right at the first down stick.
Well, he's only made a couple of catches to that point in the game, and this is going to be one where the coverage is pretty tight. They're going to put G-Roy Simon to the wide receiver position, and Lulay gets flushed out there. But look at G-Roy Simon react. He sees his quarterback in trouble. That's not the designed route, but he breaks it off to get a target for his quarterback. And they're going to take a look at this.
measurement right in front of the Lions bench. It will be third down. And about a half yard away from a fresh set of downs for Wally Bono.
Short yardage package has been Jarius Jackson. And here he is again. And in plays like this, especially in the playoffs, there's two things that win a play like this. One is leverage. Which offensive or defensive line gets the lowest? And the other is just flat out who wants it more.
And here at Mosaic in the noise getting off that line cleanly. And Jackson, good surge off the left side. John Hemeister Reese, Angus Reed, Javon Olafioye, the only All-Star, by the way, Olafioye, the left tackle, only offensive All-Star for Wally Bono in 2010.
Boy, they got a good push, and nice and low, too. John Hemeister Reese is one of them, and that's a key play. I know it was inside of the yard, but hey, it seems like a mile when the pressure's on like it is right now.
Vastly improved offensive line second half of the year. First down at the Roughrider 49. Lule with time, and he's got T-Roy Sagno separated from the football by Tad Cornegay. Chris McKenzie also on the scene.
And it's Chris McKenzie, Chris, that gets his right hand inside and times it up perfectly on T-Roy Simon, because I think he was open on this corner. They tried to get him in this short side on the corner a couple of times, but watch McKenzie in the trail. He's got help over the top, and right there he punches it out with his right hand.
You're looking at second and long throughout this second half. Riders send pressure, and it's picked off. Lynch, squeezer! Dropped inside the 30.
I was about to say, Chris, that Travis Lule, with over 5 minutes, really did not have to force it or try and do too much in this case. Even if they punt here, the BC Lions have the field position advantage. Emmanuel Arsenal on the curl route, just a tremendous jump by Lance Frazier. That's just a defensive play. That's reading the receiver, understanding how he runs routes. That's a football player that had to do that in the film room. He had to see that in the film room.
Second takeaway of the game for the Roughrider defense. And now Darian Durant trying to make them pay, and why not give it to 7? He's been the weapon today for the Roughriders.
In order to get a jump like that, Lance Frazier's got to do enough film work where he knows when Emmanuel Arsenal is going to chop his feet and come in on that curl, he's going to jump. To be that aggressive, to come that downhill on this play, you've got to have done some film work. He had to have done it because he jumps that aggressively, and that's a huge play for Saskatchewan.
4 interceptions in the regular season, 1 against the Lions. 5 in each of the last 2 years, so he's consistent with his 5th this season. They're on the clock, they give it to Cates, and Cates will be tossed down again. Jonathan Brown. And it will be second and long as we click under 4 minutes to go. And Darian Durant with a touchdown can really put the Roughriders in the driver's seat. They're in field goal range to make it a 7-point game, but they want more than that.
Well, 7-point is completely different, and Mike Benavides' defense right now against Doug Barry's offense, they've got to figure out a way. If you're Mike Benavides now, the game probably for your defense is right down here, this moment.
Second and 10. That pressure up the edge, and Durant will throw that away. They'll settle for 3 and not make a mistake.
It was Anthony Reddick, the extra defensive back, who's going to come off the edge. He almost comes offside, slows up in time, And here he is right here, and just times it up good. Now he's going to drive Wes Cates back into the lap of Durant and get enough pressure on him where he forces Durant to throw it away. So the BC defense give their team hope.
6 sacks against Durant by BC in the regular season. 2 were by Reddick and 2 more by Corey Banks. Those nickel backs, and no sack there, but they force Warren Keene back on the field. And Keene from 25 out to make it a 7-point game, and he's got it. It's a touchdown lead for Ken Miller's Saskatchewan Roughriders. And our game story is brought to you by Mr. Lube.
4 quarterback sacks for Karan Williams. How about the game for Weston Dresser, who was not in the playoffs or the Grey Cup for the Saskatchewan Roughriders last year. Darian Durant, big time second half. He was off. The accuracy wasn't there in the first half, but he has bounced back. When he started to get Wes Cates involved in the third quarter in the run, he ran a little bit more himself, and then the passing game followed suit. It's a long way to go.
Excuse me, Glenn, it was 19-7 BC. It's a 20-1 run for the Roughriders here in the second half.
All the pressure and focus was on Andy Vantus in that receiving court. Ken Miller knew it. Weston Dresser steps up.
Wally Bono's had some big special team plays this year, and he accepts a kickoff here instead of taking it on the 35. Giannis Davis to it. Looking over the 35. And up around the 40-yard line for Travis Lulay with exactly 3 minutes remaining in regulation time of the Western Semi. 2 coaches who have had their share of adversity this year. Wally Buono, a 1-7 start. Ken Miller, 4 losses late in the season in a row. And now within 7 points of each other, 3 minutes to go. Remember, the Lions went to overtime last year in their semifinal game in Hamilton. They need a touchdown drive from Travis Lulay. And he starts off with a pass to Rolly Lambala out of the backfield, and Jarrell Freeman snuffs that out.
Wally Buono said about his team that it may have been better to grind out an 8-10 season and face that adversity than to finesse their way to an 11-7 season. Well, they have under 3 minutes now to extend this football game.
Second and 7 for the Lions. James Patrick on the safety blitz. Lulay gets it away, but it's incomplete. Couldn't hook up with O'Neal Wilson. And now it's 3rd and 7, and with 2:30 to go, Wally Buono doesn't hesitate. Not going to gamble yet.
No, and I think this is the right call. You can still punt this away if you get a quick 2 and out. You should get the ball back if you're the Lions with over a minute to go. James Patrick went on the blitz on that last play, but was hesitant as he hit the line of scrimmage. There was a chance there to move the chains, and that throw a little low from Travis Lulay, but this is the right decision, I believe.
Weston Dressler is on a roll, has dropped deep along with Bryce Mullen, and a good kick by McCallum. Dressler on the return. Up across the 35, 37-yard line, 2:19 on the clock, 48 on the punt, 16 on the run back by Dressler. Darian Durant, how much of the clock can he burn? And he put this one out of reach. His numbers on the day looking a lot better than they were at halftime. Still just at 50% on the evening. It's outside and has a catch, and it's in Fantuz with his first of the game. To the 43.
Well, he had to come back hard to that football. He was being covered there by Corey Banks. And Banks closing fast on that inside shoulder. He has to come all the way back to get it. Does hang on there.
And Banks did a great job of trying to separate the football from Andy Fantuz, who ends up with 6 on his first catch of the game, the league leader during the regular season with 87 grabs for 1,380 yards. 2nd and 4. And that one being thrown away, so the Lions are going to get it back.
Weston Dressler came out and was going to run a bubble screen from the backfield, but Corey Banks sniffed it out. What a season he has had for the Lions, win or lose here in this game tonight. But he gets the Saskatchewan Roughriders in that 3rd down because of his coverage on Dressler.
The 2 and out made to order for the Lions. Lots of time left. Giannis Davis would love to enhance the field position for Travis Lule. Another high moving punt at the 20. Davis bubbles back and is pulled down just across the 25-yard line. Good cover after the 47-yard kick.
I believe it was Stu Ford with a great open field tackle on Giannis Davis. Looked like he had some momentum, and he's been a backbreaker this season. Look at the second half numbers for Travis Lule.
Well, part of that, the Roughriders just kept it out of their hands, including a long 13-play drive that took up about half the 3rd quarter.
But there is time. Lots of time.
Stands in, Robertson over the backfield, Lance Fraser with a shoulder tackle. Gets him in bounds.
Travis Lule will be calling the plays on the line of scrimmage. He doesn't have to force the ball deep with 1:31 remaining. He has time to run the regular offense. He's still trying to get the signals in from the sideline. They're going to have to take some time here.
Clock running. Seconds off the clock to get it away, but they convert. Harris Jackson with the catch and a first down up around the 45.
But that's too long, Chris. I mean, you can't take 15 seconds of play in this situation and where you are on the field if you're Travis Lule. Now they're getting up on the line. They've also got the microphone to be able to communicate through the headset of the quarterback.
Now the clock starts again. Took 11 seconds off. Lule directs traffic and has to throw it away. Under pressure from Keith Shulligan and Chucky Adams.
Travis Lule thought there was some illegal contact down the field on one of his receivers he wanted deep. I mentioned the communication in his helmet, Chris, but with this crowd at Mosaic Stadium, he probably can't hear it. It takes that element away for Travis Lule. And now they have to signal if they want to call the play from the bench. Either that, or they've got to give Lule the controls and let him make the decision on the field.
Second and 10. Lule over the middle, and he's got a big completion. Stephen Black moves the chains of the Lions. Still have life, and they have 48 seconds.
They're getting up to the line of scrimmage. Now Wally Guano still has his timeout. Doesn't need to use it yet as they set the football, but what a composed throw. That's the traffic area down the middle, and Lule steps in and delivers a strike.
23 for Black, his 4th catch of the day. The Rough Rider 41. Here comes the heat. Lule stretching out. What a catch. Stephen Black's got another, and it's another BC first down.
Big time catch. First of all, Lule is able to fight off the pressure. I think it was Luke Mullender from the outside, stands in strong, and look at the catch. Stephen Black with his hands underneath. They could throw it to the end zone in one play now. They don't have to, but they're close enough now to do it.
Clock is running, however. Good play. 20 seconds to go. 29 yards away. Loads it up. Into the end zone. Overthrows Emmanuel Arsenault.
Chris, the seconds, the valuable seconds with such a young quarterback. The crowd noise that's eliminating that communication from microphone to speaker in the helmet of Lule. He likely doesn't have that. They've wasted at least 20, 30 seconds in this drive.
And probably only have time for 2 more plays. And you consider if they wasted 20, they've wasted a chance for maybe 2 more plays at least. It's 2nd and 10. James Patrick. Lule gets it away, but he's overthrowing Arsenault. 7 seconds left, and they're down to 3rd and 10.
Plays like this now. Wally Guano will call his timeout.
They'll talk about a play that has to be controlled.
Timeout. BC.
Trying to get Emmanuel Arsenault on that short side corner, and because of the pressure from the safety James Patrick, Travis Lule not able to be accurate on the throw. Now on plays like this, it becomes effective as Travis Lule can buy a little time, possibly bounce outside to allow his receivers to camp out in the end zone.
Potentially the final play of the game. They need 10 to get a first down. They need 29 to have a chance to tie. Long developing play for the tie. Jump ball. He's got it. Emmanuel Arsenault. Touchdown. With no time on the clock. Lule throws the Hail Mary, and Emmanuel Arsenault brings it down.
And Lule did what he had to do. He was patient. He waited a split second to allow his receivers to get position. Much like a rebounder in basketball, he doesn't throw yet. Wait. Now his receivers are set up. They've got better body position. And the timing on the jump as Emmanuel Arsenault gets to the high point. A single away from this one going to overtime.
All but Callum for the tie and OT, and he's got it. 2nd consecutive year. It's old hat for Wally Guano. Oh, wait a minute, we've got a flag down late after the convert. Let's sort that out. It went to overtime for the Lions in the Eastern semifinal last year against Hamilton.
Procedure on Saskatchewan, pyramiding. That penalty is declined. The convert is good. We'll go to overtime.
And we are going to overtime. Remarkable. First game of the year, Saskatchewan went to overtime against Montreal. BC 0-2, and here are the rules for the overtime shootout.
Rules are the same as the regular season, except for the game continues if it continues to be tied. We have to have a winner in the playoffs. And here's why, Chris, we're going to playoffs. A perfectly designed Hail Mary throw. 3 receivers. Emmanuel Arsenault's the middle one. Go ahead and run it, guys, and I'll show you why it's perfectly executed, because down in the end zone, you've got 3 guys, and all 3 have a job to do. Stop it there. 1 in behind in case there's a tip. 1 in front, and 1 underneath, and it's Arsenault underneath that comes up and takes it at the high point.
Roughriders will start first. in this first overtime mini game at the 35. And Durant has a wide open man, Jason Claremont. And Claremont with a good start for the Roughriders to the 15-yard line.
Now here in overtime, the Lions won the toss and elected to play defense first to see what they would have to match. And it's Claremont to get things started offensively. They weren't on the same page in the first half. Good throw and catch here in overtime.
What hurt Saskatchewan today, 5 visits to the red zone inside the 20, 1 touchdown. They settled for 4 field goals. Make the Gates out here for Fantuz, but a little trouble with the execution of that play, and it's incomplete.
You have trouble executing as a quarterback when you have Corey Banks in your ribcage. And that's exactly what happened, Chris. He came off the edge. Corey Banks timed it up nicely, did not rough the passer, and put his helmet right in the ribcage of Darian Durant. Took a hard hit, and that's why the accuracy off on that throw.
Now it's 2nd and 10 at the 15. Roughriders don't want to send the field goal team on here in overtime. Lions show blitz, brought offside, a free shot to the end zone, incomplete. And again, it looks like Durant threw that Lions defense offside.
Who moved first? No flag in the backfield. I know the fans here at Mosaic Stadium booing because they wanted a penalty for illegal contact. And is this going against Saskatchewan? No, I don't think so.
Offside. BC number 42. 5-yard penalty remains, 2nd down.
Anton McKenzie drawn off. The veteran in that linebacking group. They were coming, but now, after the offside, it's 2nd and 5 from the 10. Durant inside, they got the first down. Harry Cope, Tad Crawford hanging on. But a big first down for Darian Durant.
BC Lions go with the same look, basically the same blitz. So this time Saskatchewan has it figured out. And what they're going to do is they're going to play Kerry Cope in a quick slant. Basically what's called a hot route to move the chains and give themselves another set of downs.
Cope with 19 catches in the last 3 regular season games. And he has 4 today. 1st and goal. 5 receivers and Cates in the backfield. Durant puts this deep in the back of the end zone. And a flag flies. Ryan Phillips bumping Andy Fantuz. Got a couple of penalty markers down.
Fantuz plays that well at the back of the end zone to hesitate and just take the momentum of Ryan Phillips, who will go right up his back and draw the penalty flag.
Pass interference. BC number 21 in goal. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. 1st down.
So both flags for the same infraction.
Andy Fantuz at the end of the play. Everything's okay here for Ryan Phillips so far, but watch him hesitate right there. He slows down to draw the penalty flag. Contact made.
So 1st and goal at the 1. Wes Cates puts up. So the Riders are able to punch it in. But in overtime now with the new rules, the 2-point converts, extremely important.
Let's take a look at this play again, because I'm not sure Wes Cates got in.
Under review.
Let's take another look. He gets banged around a little bit right at the line of scrimmage here. And did the ball ever cross the plane of the goal line?
Right on the line, and that may be tough to overturn.
Corey Banks got up, was upset with the official right in front of him with his hands in the air signaling touchdown. It was very, very close. Clearly Westgate's head went across the line, but did the ball cross the plane?
Gates with 16 during the regular season to lead the CFL. Well, the play was coming right at you, but then Gates gets blocked out here as his back.
You can see the ball. It's not crossed the plane yet, but does it when he comes down and right there? Does the ball cross the plane?
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
It is a touchdown, and the Riders had a little extra time to draw up this two-point convert attempt.
Darian Durant has been money on two-point converts as a starter in Saskatchewan. I don't think he's missed one.
And now for the big two. Quick hitter. He's got it. Andy Fantus, and the Roughriders put 8 on the board. And the Lions will have to score twice to force another minigame.
He's been quiet all game, but that might be the biggest play for the Roughriders all game. And Andy Fantus, what a move on Dante Marsh. Real hard outside jab step with that left outside leg. And the guy who couldn't find him in the first half finds him in a crucial moment for a two-point convert. Now Lule has to get to the end zone and make one play after that.
Now Travis Lule's already performed one miracle here. What's he got now? Pressure, steps up, Sholigan slowed him up, and Lule down at the 31 has 4.
Chris, no matter how this game ends and whether or not the BC Lions can find another comeback here, I think we're seeing a star emerge in Travis Lule. A guy the organization can build around even if he can't find a miracle here.
No question, last year's 8-10 didn't have many silver linings, but this 8-10 season was all with the rebuilt team. They've got their leader now and a host of young stars that are still trying to get to Calgary, 2nd and 6, and some early movement. Oh, time count.
Yep.
Late movement. And again, the crowd.
Time count violation. BC, number 14. Loss of down. It's 3rd down.
Loss of down. And that means it's 3rd and 7.
Travis Lule was moving his leg up and down frantically to try and get that football snap.
Now they're going to discuss this. It'll be a loss of down with under 3 minutes to go in the game. Is it a loss of down in overtime? That's what the officials are conferring with. Wally Bono from the sidelines appealing that it's still 2nd down.
But you're right, Chris, as they discuss this, the crowd. There we go.
Correction. Time count violation. BC number 14. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
In the last 3 minutes, but not in overtime. So the veteran coach, Wally Bono, gets the officials' attention in time. But it puts Travis Lule at 2nd and long regardless.
13th Mays were responsible for 4 or 5 of those penalties today. Lule's got Arsenault open. Took a big hit, but holds on. And he has a first down for BC at the 15.
Boy, did he ever take a huge hit from Byron Bullock, who was playing deep in the outside to give some deep help to his corner, Omar Morgan. Free release for Arsenault to work inside, and look at the shot he takes and hangs on to the football.
23-year-old Emmanuel Arsenault, who may be headed south of the border next year. Wally Guano trying to sign him to a contract extension. The miracle catch.
They're going to review it.
The previous play is under review.
They're going to take a look at this. He takes the hit and survives contact from the hit from Byron Bullock. Now he catches it there and turns, survives that contact, and the ball looks like it squirts out as he's going down, and he rides it out of bounds. Now, the question being, does he survive contact there?
Still in his possession there.
There's two things here, Chris. One is the bang-bang theory from a player and surviving contact from the defensive player. That's one. The other is surviving contact in the ground. Now, if you leave your feet as a receiver and land on the ground and the ball comes out like that, then it's ruled no catch. But if you've survived the contact from the player, which it appears that Arsenal has, then it changes the ruling. Now, is that just a fumble from Arsenal on the ground?
Interesting that late last week there was a challenge late in the game on an Arsenal catch that turned out to stand as a catch that set up the winning field goal.
Because he doesn't have control as it goes out there. But he's explaining it to Stephen Black. I had it when I got hit, and I had control when I got hit, so the bang-bang portion, I survived. So going to the ground now, he's arguing he's essentially fumbled it.
Well, we have seen it called where you have to survive the contact and the ground that quickly on a play that would be a 21-yard first down.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a completed pass.
So they survive a major video challenge and get a first down. What a conversion that was on 2nd and 11.
And it gives Travis Lewis some time to calm the huddle, get organized again, and get out there to run his offense.
Yes, he was over at the bench conferring with Chapdelaine and Wally Guano. It's a Lion first down at the 15. Here comes the pressure. Lule scrambles and throws incomplete. Close enough to Jamal Robertson, but Luke Mullender made the play defensively for the Roughriders.
Well, he did, and he took a chance to make an inside move on Javon Olafioye and come back inside, because if Travis Lule bounces quickly, he might have a play here. But Mullender comes inside, but is able to go back and get Lule corralled again.
Convert a lot of second and longs today. Here comes the heat, and that's incomplete for the flag.
Arsenal went on a crossing route. He was being covered by Chris McKenzie. I think they're going to call interference here.
And it is going against the Roughriders, to be sure.
Illegal contact on a receiver. BC number 39. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's the call against Chris McKenzie. Byron Bullock was really turning up the heat on Lule. But again, the Lions get a first down.
There's your interference. Contact made as McKenzie was trying to fight through.
A pick from Harris Jackson. So it's first and goal from the 7. The Lions won't go away. Lule for Robertson. And he's driven back at the 5. LaRon Mitchell, Mike McCullough.
It's not a play that the BC Lions have run, but with what Saskatchewan has done, and that soft spot I showed you earlier in the game that usually ends up to be right in there, BC Lions have not run quarterback draw, but if they had, we're looking at the 2-point conversion.
The Lions still need 4 yards, almost 5, and they still need that 2-point conversion. Giannis Davis checks in. He's wide to the right. Lule looking that way. He may run it. Thomas Lule, touchdown! And it all will come down to a 2-point convert to keep it going. How about the cool savvy of this rookie quarterback?
It's remarkable. It is absolutely remarkable.
Rookie starter.
Absolutely. In his first playoff start, he takes it to overtime. To have the composure, get outside, tuck it in, cut back against the flow, get up, and he knows he needs a 2-point convert. Back to business.
Yeah, no celebrating yet. They've got 5 more yards of work to do just to get another mini game. All comes down to this. Lule couldn't get the football, and they take the time count, and Lule hot. And again, the crowd.
Time count violation. BC number 14. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the convert.
But again, it's not Travis Lule that is getting rattled by the crowd. It's the fact that Angus Reid, he can't see to communicate and get that football back to Travis Lule.
Now they need 10 yards for 2 points in the tie. Everybody up on the line for the Riders. Here they come. Into the end zone. G-Roy's got it. G-Roy Simon, and we're tied again.
You've got to be kidding me. And G-Roy Simon fights off coverage. Oh, boy.
Another mini game upcoming at Mosaic. An overtime classic in the Western semifinal. 27-year-old Travis Lule with a touchdown run of just under 5 yards to set up the tying 2-point convert.
He has faced a tremendous pass rush. He has faced adversity. He's been put in difficult field position, difficult situations, and he is not rattled.
Now the second mini-game starts, and it'll be BC football first. You know, it's advantage knowing what the other team did, but in this case, the Lions offense is rolling. Been out there, and they are rolling, so let's see if BC can keep it going. Last gas catches, once by Arsenault and one by G-Roy Simon now to keep the Lions in it. Here comes pressure, that ball batted down. He turned up again by Keith Shulligan and company.
Well, they really are, and that's the other thing that's been amazing to watch for Travis Lule is the fact that, looks like Brent Hawkins is down for Saskatchewan, is the fact that he has faced a ton of pressure, especially in this second half, and he just refuses to get those wide eyes. I mean, he just backed off that time, was able to deliver it. It was knocked down, but he had guys in his face.
.424 yards passing last week, over 360 today, and even under duress, he's been able to keep the offense going. Big lull in the third quarter, but then again, they weren't on the field very much in the third quarter. Brent Hawkins continues to get attention, and that gives Lule a chance with G-Roy Simon to get to the Lions sidelines. Hawkins has been bothered with shoulder issues most of the second half of the season.
He'll have to come out for 3 plays.
Lule and the Lions over 50% in second down conversions today. They are 14 of 26, a lot in the second and long variety. Checking Hawkins' knee as he's on the sidelines, and Roughriders go with their pass defense package anyway. More pressure. Hot track. Can't pick him down. Lule takes off and then seemed to stumble at the 30. And he'll be 5 yards short. And they'll have to send out Paul McCallum.
Looked like Travis Lule wanted to go to running back Jamal Robertson out of the backfield here. And he is picked up well. Remember, one of the stories of this game out of the gate was no Barron Simpson. Look at the coverage on the intended target by Mike McCullough, the backup for Barron Simpson in this game, who's had himself a very good one.
And Ryan Lucas went flying into Omar Morgan, and you can see Morgan grab the knee, and he remains down as he got hit by friendly fire. Vancouver native Ryan Lucas coming across and cutting down his teammate.
And Lucas was in the game for Brent Hawkins.
Defensive captain, senior man on that Rough Rider defense, Omar Morgan. 11 years in the league, 10 with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. The only year he did not play for the Riders, 2007. When the Rough Riders were Cup champions.
This is his 11th playoff game.
Getting some weight on it. Remember, they lost Barron Simpson last week. And
Sean Lucas also out.
Hoping that if the Rough Riders are headed to Calgary next week, that Omar Morgan will be able to be in that lineup.
Boy, there's still an if involved with that. There's Barron Simpson, who is counting and hoping that his teammates can get another week of football, at least, for him to get back in the lineup.
Morgan makes his way slowly to the sidelines. Paul McCallum, 50 of 56 this season. 4 for 4 today. 37 yards out. And McCallum hits another. Now Darian Durant and the Saskatchewan Roughriders will go out looking for a game-winning touchdown.
And of concern now more than ever is Darian Durant not giving up a sack, because with the playoff rules to start on the 35-yard line, you're basically in field goal range, albeit a long one, and let's remind viewers of their field goal situation.
Yes, worth reminding with Warren Keene.
He's the short ones inside of 40, and Eddie Johnson the longer ones. So Darian Durant can ill afford to give up a sack. He's got to be positive yards here to continue this game in field goal range. They'll think win first, obviously.
Everybody out. 6 receivers out for Durant. And that ball off the fingertips of Koch, and an interception here, and the game's over.
And that's right. And guess who was real close to that? Who had one in his hands in the first half? That's it. 21, Ryan Phillips. Going to work back into the inside. This ball off the fingertips of Kerry Koch, and Phillips had a shot.
Well, this is a huge play here. Not sure the Rough Riders be very comfortable with a 42-yard field goal attempt. Durant throws, got a catch, got a first down. Chris Getzlaff. First catch of the game comes in the second overtime.
Boy, and that's big, big, big at both kickers. Eddie Johnson and Warren Keene, no matter if they get another inch, now breathe a sigh of relief on that throw to Getzlaff. because it gets them in a real makeable situation, field goal wise, to extend the game. It takes the pressure off in a big way.
Again, they empty the backfield. And Durant looks inside. Jason Claremont, his first Saskatchewan Roughrider touchdown is a game winner. And Saskatchewan will move on.
Inside route. He breaks the tackle of David Hyland and bolts to the end zone. And how fitting is it for Jason Claremont against his former team to score his first touchdown, and they don't get any bigger.
Just another wild night at Mosaic. And how many of those have we had? Darian Durant pulls it out, and he's standing by with Farhan Lalji.
Darian, first of all, just tell us about your mindset going into that last overtime. You knew what you needed, and you got it.
I mean, this team is resilient, man. Whether it's an overtime game, whether we're down, we always find a way to win. And it was no different today. We just had to make a play.
For you personally, the first half was probably not what you wanted. It looked at times you were forcing it. How about your ability to stay patient and stay with it?
That's the thing about this game. It's not going to always go your way. And the thing I did was just persevere. Just made it through the rough times. I know my teammate has my back. And, you know, they came through for me.
Turnovers have been such a big key to your success or failure in this season. You didn't turn it over at all today. How important was that?
It's very important. You know, this time of the year, you can't give them easy points. And, you know, I just made sure I threw the ball away when I had to and made the plays when they were needed to be made.
Thanks, Darren. Good luck in count.
Thank you.
Great scene for Jason Claremont. Time for the TSN turning point.
Well, pretty easy to pick here. What a football game. Comes down to the wire in double overtime. And Jason Claremont, in his 43rd game without a touchdown, scores his first as a Rider. And that ball goes right in the trophy case for number 82.
TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Wendy's Baconator, the official hamburger of the CFL. So it will be a rematch of last year's Western Final, but this time it's at McMahon. Roughriders and Stampeders. Calgary won 2 of 3. Saskatchewan's win was in overtime. Stampeders won 40-20 and 34-26 back in mid-October. What a performance by Travis Lulay. Darian Durant, sensational in the second half. A remarkable night at Mosaic. A miracle catch by Emmanuel Arsenault, but in double overtime, Ken Miller's team prevails. That's the story from Regina. Now let's join Football Night in America.